perfume. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. There's only two ways to make it in this town. One is to be brilliant, the other is to drown. Don't take both drugs all in one go. You can't reach the heavens passed out on the floor. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. If your mama could see you now, if your mama could see you now, topless and upside down, spinning around. If your mama could see you now, with the party lines coming out, are you lost or are you found? Are there too many mirrors in this Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, then I'll sweep you away. Don't fall for the monsters in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze. perfume. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. There's only two ways to make it in this town. One is to be brilliant, the other is to drown. But don't take both drugs all in one go. You can't reach the heavens passed out on the floor. It's a highway, highway to the door, and a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. If your mama could see you now, if your mama could see you now, topless and upside down, spinning around. If your mama could see you now, with the party lines coming out, are you lost or are you found? Are there too many mirrors in this Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, then I'll sweep you away. Don't fall for the monsters in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze. Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, I'm just sharpening my blade. Don't fall for
unmuting the mics. Hi, everybody. Look at all these lovely people here. What's going on? It's 9:11 p.m. on the East Coast. You know where you're at. You're in a dojo. And we have so many special guests tonight. Look at all these lovely guys. You guys want to say hi to everybody? Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
There it is.
Hi.
That's how we start. That's how we do here. Let me give a shout out to the chat quick. Melissa, what's up? Chris, Jack. Hi, guys. Been coming here a lot. Look, hey, Ben Meeker's in the chat, guys. Isn't that amazing?
Shit, it's the fuzz.
It's the fuzz.
Cheese it. I got warrants.
Guys, you kitty, what's happening? Hey, look. Oh, my God. Look, Bud's in the chat, too. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man. Glad you're here. And Rachel's here. Rachel. Oh.
I look nothing like her. I don't get it.
I thought you guys looked like twinsies, man.
Well, Rachel is RP'd by a guy.
What?
That is world ending.
Not even a minute into the show, and we already have like groundbreaking news going on here, guys. I love it. Larissa, hey. Larissa's awesome. What's happening? How you doing? Brett, hi. And more people are stopping in and out, I see. So hi. Well, this is Saturday night special going on. We have a live RP panel discussion, I suppose. And I guess we'll get started with the introductions. Let's go. Where am I pointing? Let's start with Bud. Hi, Bud.
Hello.
You want to give a little shout out who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff?
Well, I'm Bud Scarlatti. My real name's Michael. I've been kind of here it's been, 6 years for me? It's 5 or 6 years. I started as Lynn Peterson, and here I am now.
There he is.
Yeah.
Now you can see him now that I fixed the screen issue I was having. It cut off that entire side and the bottom. It was just me and Meeker, which is going to give our next introduction.
Yeah, and I don't mind that at all, being the second best looking one in the group.
Hey.
Next to you, Doc, of course, right?
Oh, look at you,
You
sucking up. You know how this show's going to work.
Oh, I know, you got to butter up the host in that green room because else, how's to get only blue M&Ms in a bowl, right? But yeah, been doing this for about 4 or 5 years with who couldn't make it tonight, Gary, the guy who does Scary Hunt.
Gary Hunt. Yeah.
Yep, because Len Peterson was one of the first accounts I saw on here, so came on board, started just getting to know some folks, and I got to say, made a lot of really, really great friends through this, and a lot of great experiences. To me, that's probably the most satisfactory part is friends all across the United States, all across the world, to be honest, that wouldn't have today had it not been for just saying, hey, I'm just going to make a Ben Meeker account and just start acting like a sheriff of Haddonfield. So,
hey, it works, right? It's a good time. Well, welcome, Bud and Meeker, and we'll give Joe the next little shout out. Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much. Trying to keep my cats from destroying me while this is here because they see me talking and they think I'm talking to them. I guess as far as role playing goes, I actually started it 24 years ago on IRC. I've only been with the Twitter role playing stuff since September 2019. I started as Ginny Field and Ted Bowen, and then how Friday the 13th kind of died and got asked to do Rachel. Almost didn't do it. Thankfully decided to because it's one of the best decisions I've made on Twitter. And I guess, yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah. And of course, returning guest, 3-time World Bed Wrestling Champion, Kill FM is here.
What's up?
Hi. You want to say hi to everybody, Mac?
Hey, everybody, Mac. I play Robert Mundy and Tanner.
Tramer.
yeah, and as you can see,
I
Max
don't really get on that one a whole lot.
Max a huge Halloween fan, let me tell you.
Yeah. So I started back in March, and I actually just found, I think Crazy Ralph was the first one I found, and was just super interested in what he was doing. Then I started realizing it was a bigger world, so I got into it, and it was a bad time to try to jump in as a character. So I started the Kill FM thing and kind of started to get to know people that way. And once I got to know that, I jumped into Halloween verse and started with Robert Monday and been fucking loving that ever since. And I met the guys and it's been nothing but a great experience.
That's what I like to hear. I was gonna say, I'm still trying to fix this damn window. That's what I'm doing. While you guys are introducing yourselves. There we go. Well, only 15 minutes into the show, and I'm already. Look at that. Beautiful.
I will say though, on behalf of the Halloween verse, thank you so much for letting us come on. It's a real treat to be on and just talk and just be on this with you. But I got to give a shout out to Gabe, Gary Hunt, the guy who runs the Gary Hunt account. He's the heart and soul of this community. He's probably one of the nicest and most honest people you'll ever meet. His horror knowledge across the board is impressive. He's just a good guy. So Gary, wish you were here with us. Unfortunately, he works a lot of crazy hours when it's thunderstorm season in the Midwest. So I just want to give him a quick shout out though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out. I'll tell you, like, he's the one that really started getting me involved with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you guys know the story. We don't want to get into the whole background of my crap. I've talked about it before many times.
I already apologized. Sorry. I apologize to everyone. Gosh, Doc.
Yeah, Doc's the worst. That whoever's running that Doc guy, let me tell you. He is an asshole, but he looks damn good in that outfit, I must say. Yeah, I had to change the profile picture. I was like, I'm more than just Jeffrey Combs, guys. I mean, come on. I do costume stuff. Why don't I showcase it? But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like, so I don't know who wants to start with this, but I'd like to start with one of your first most positive memories of getting involved in the RP universe overall, not just Twitter, wherever you started, what brought you into this in the very first place.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. I was thinking about that today.
Go for it, take it, yeah.
What first brought me in was when a Salt Lake City police officer arrested a nurse for not allowing him to draw blood without a court order. I don't know if you guys remember this happening.
Oh, yeah.
His name was Detective Jeff Payne, and I was on my personal Twitter account, and I kept saying these things come up about it. So I said, you know what? I'm bored. I want to have some fun. So I made a Detective Jeff Payne Twitter account. And people just started jumping on it and hammering this guy. And I was just getting slaughtered, and I was laughing about it. And then finally some people started jumping in saying, this is hilarious. They're like, we hope this account lasts. They hope you make it. And then I realized it was about the spoof side of it, right? It wasn't about anything else. It was just about, being spoofy, having fun. But
right.
I'll tell you, when I came on as speaker with Gary and a few other folks, I got in way too deep. I'm going to warn you guys now. The RP world, the horror community, the back politics stuff, I could not have been happier than when Missy, who's in that chat today, helped pull me out of that and helped to have me back off of that, because I'm much happier now. I'm enjoying it much more now. If you just stick to your character, you don't get in too deep, and you just have fun.
Well, that's what it's about, I think. I think that's what we're all here to just have fun, be creative, and celebrate our love of not only different characters, franchises, entertainment in general it's turning into. I think this whole RP thing is really pushed past even just horror at this point,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Mac, you got some thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it has. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the horror community kind of accepting other role players into it. I started this thing, and I think I talked to when I saw Friday the 13th wasn't going to be able to gain a lot of momentum. I got a heads up to talk to, I think, Travis, and I hit him up and was like, hey man, I'm interested in playing a part here. And he was like, yeah, we were hoping you'd come along. And I found that hysterical, because I'm just some knucklehead doing a thing on Twitter, like just for fun. Since it was COVID, I'm sitting in my car a lot and not doing anything. And so I started this thing that I could just do. And everybody always said, oh, you got this voice, you should be on the radio.
Oh, the voice,
right.
Dude. Jeez.
Yeah. It is
and
something else.
That's always funny, because I always hated my voice.
You're nuts. I wish I had that voice, dude. I'd be doing
Same
high school PA announcing.
But it was, I talked to Travis and got into it there, and he was like, "Oh, you're going to be great at this," and kind of encouraged me to come along, and I did. And I think, Bud, did you play Monday before I got it?
Actually, Travis was the first Monday, right?
Yep.
And then he transferred it to me. I played it. Monday's the tough one to get traction with.
Yeah.
But I thought you were perfect. We wanted to give you something, and
Oh, I love
you
it.
Monday. I think you've done great with it.
Yeah.
Your stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just, and it coincides like Travis told me, it kind of goes with the whole Kill FM thing, so it kind of works together, and it does really well. And being in my job, I got to do a lot of reports, and I got to watch the news, and I got to pay attention to what's going on. So I got that cadence down.
Well,
And I've just been sitting on it and using it ever since, and that's my shtick.
if Halloween 2, if the original sequel, Halloween 2, the 81 version, could get that contract figured out for those rights, and we can get that finally where it needs to be on AMC Fear Fest,
Yeah.
your character would do so much more with that. It's the fact that Halloween 2 is buried because you can't really get to it unless you buy it.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot more to the character than you just saw in the regular theatrical thing. He had more parts, and I think it was the last one we did the watch party for. You see a couple pictures of him at the end. But yeah, he's a great character. I love doing it.
That's a lot. It's definitely fun, and you guys definitely have your heart in it. You can tell with the way you treat, not just the fans, but the way we interact with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing to see.
It's funny because it wasn't always this way.
Wasn't.
We had to wade through a lot of bullshit to find each other, because there was a time where me and Meeker, we didn't really like each other.
No, me and
But
Yep.
Yeah, we were played against each other.
Yep.
I think.
Really?
And yeah, it's a cutthroat business, this RP shit.
It's tough.
It really is.
You can't structure it. You can't say, "Oh, this is our leader. Oh, this is the rules, or this person's in charge."
Well, let's hold that a minute, and we'll get on this, because we're definitely getting on this.
Yep.
But Bud, let me throw me one of your first most positive memories of this.
It's gonna, dude.
It's got to be Jake Tapper, dude.
No, Jake Tapper. Yeah, that's a good one. Jake Tapper does follow Lynn Peterson. But for the most positive memory for me is when, I'm just going to say it, when we cut the old bracket. Because that's what was holding us back. And that's the most positive, because that guy was not good.
Well, and I definitely think we're gonna have to get it on some of that stuff here in a few.
But I'll give you a real positive memory.
Sure, toss it to me. What you got?
You guys know Harrison Smith, right? The director.
Yeah, man, he's awesome.
Yeah.
God, love that guy.
A positive thing that I would have to be becoming friends with him. That'd be a positive for me.
That's pretty cool. That's really awesome.
He's a cool cat.
Yes,
Now,
he is.
I'm sorry if I'm letting something out of the bag here, but didn't he actually tell you that Len account brightened up his days, like when he was having a down day?
He did tell me that, and that's what really made me feel that I was on the right track with this, because I just really like to have fun. I love to make people laugh. I don't take it serious, but that's if you can brighten somebody's day, that's always the best.
That's what it's about.
Right. Well, let's shoot down to Joe real quick. Joe, give me one of your most fond, positive memories of doing this. And it doesn't even have to be, like I said, Twitter, Halloween verse, anything you want to talk about. Floor is yours.
Well, the thing that, as far as role playing goes, I kind of always go back to my first experience with it back when I was 14. I was on Espernet and IRC network that I still go on occasionally. And I think some of you know this story, but it's proof of my ignorance, and some people find it amusing. I was just sitting there on IRC, and they were looking for people to join a Sailor Moon RPG. And I had no idea what anime was, did not know what Sailor Moon was. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try this. And they're like, okay, you're going to be Sailor Saturn. I'm like, great. I thought it was something about pirates.
Aw.
And then they sent me these things called pop-ups where it had like your attacks and your character description. It's like, wait, my character's a girl? I can't do this. I'm a guy. And I'd actually almost quit the game at that point, but the person who was running it, she had sent me a message and she was like, hey, look, this is not a big deal. A lot of guys play girl characters. And is there any books you like, any authors you like? And at that point, I was really into Fear Street. So I was like, yeah, R.L. Stein. Well, how many books does he write where there's a girl main character? A lot of them. Well, that's basically what you're doing. And that kind of, as weird as it sounds, kind of changed my life, because I've been into role playing for like, there was only maybe a 1-year stretch in that time period after where I wasn't doing it, and that was before I found this group. Like Max stumbled into Crazy Ralph and also Chris Higgins. And
Yeah.
Who'd you stumble upon?
me?
Yeah, who was you,
Oh,
like?
The first, it was it was September, it was like September 2nd or 3rd, 2019. I saw Crazy Ralph and Chris Higgins doing something. It got retweeted by one of the other Friday the 13th accounts I was following. And I was like, holy shit, there's a Ralph account. And then I kind of started wading through it, and I saw Chris Higgins, and she's my favorite Friday Final girl.
The best Friday Final girl. Let's just say that now. The best Friday Final girl is Chris Higgins, hands down.
Chris Higgins right here.
Yeah, I could.
Oh, yes.
I don't agree.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Nope. I'm sorry.
Are we
He's
going
a
here?
Friday fan, isn't he?
You like that broad that survived Jason Goes to Hell? Is that your favorite one?
Steve Freeman?
No, it's Jenny.
Jenny?
Yeah, all day, every day.
I'll give Jenny's
she's
like,
smart.
Yeah,
That's her difference. She's smart.
Jenny.
It's really close between those two. I think really close.
Yeah.
Well, I would have actually, like, when I first started this, I would have I was looking, I like to try to keep my characters, I like to do an equal amount of guys and girls. Unfortunately, obviously, that doesn't work out all the time, but I would have picked Chris Higgins and Shelley from part 3, but they were both taken. And then I saw at that point, the Paul Holt and the Terry McCarthy accounts kept talking about Ginny, and I couldn't find an account for her anywhere. It's like, okay, maybe they're looking for a Ginny. So I just jumped on her and kind of got lucky.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Paul Holt that you were working with went on to cause later issues in other areas.
I almost quit after a couple weeks because of that guy. I didn't want to look at Twitter in the morning because I was afraid of what mess I'd have to clean up.
Are we going there?
No, I don't know. No. But I'll say too, what brought me to do Meeker was I was looking at a back and forth thing I accidentally found between Len Peterson and Lee Brackett, the old Brackett account. And he was going to Amity to get some award or something. I can't remember. He did something.
No, there was no award.
Or a buoy named after him or something. Or
no, he was going there to try to nail.
Well, I know that,
Brody.
but he said that's why. But and he said, keep an eye on things for me, Meeker. And I'm like, huh. And I started looking. There was no Sheriff Meeker, so I made one and replied, "You got it, Lee." And the first group that welcomed me was actually the Amity group. Amity reporter tweeted out, "Ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff Ben Meeker has joined RP Twitter." And I thought, this is great.
That's an amazing feeling too. I'm going to interrupt everybody for just a second because I have to thank one person in the chat for me being here, and that's Harley. She's the one that fucking kept me going through all this shit when all that other BS went down.
Yes, is that the Harley?
Yeah, it's my favorite person. I don't care. One of my favorite writing partners, my COVID buddy. She got me through a lot of shit, and I can still consider her one of my best friends. So
I do have to say, Harley also, one of her role-playing accounts that she ran is still to this day, no offense to anybody else, but it is my favorite role-playing account that I have ever seen on Twitter. And
what is it?
No shit.
Oh, when she did Nancy Thompson.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's my favorite final girl, and like I've been asked before, why don't you do a Nancy account? I'm like, well, I can't do it I could not compare to how good she did with that account.
Now,
I absolutely love
I don't see Harley's legacy account out there anymore. Is it not there?
I don't know. Legacy account? What are you talking about?
Or does she have a Legacy Tales account?
No.
Okay. Because I know the Harley into this chat. My favorite Harley. Harley, put in the chat. Are you the one that I did the bit with Strode where I sold you the Myers house?
That's the same one.
Where? Yeah, I don't see her account out there anymore. I hope she comes back or brings it back.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna go spoiling everybody's account information, but I'm just gonna say that. So I was running a Tommy Jarvis for the Morningside for a minute. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was you.
That was me, but I had no idea about any of the bullshit. I knew nothing about anything. I was just running an account. You know what I mean?
You know, it's unavoidable that you can be as political as you want to, but it's going to get brought out.
It is, and that's why I'm bringing out some of it. All the
bullshit that happened.
Well, I mean, if we're going to do it, then, I understand that completely, but I'll be honest. A lot of issues in this RP community across the board, I stoked. I caused. I went scorched earth on people if you were associating with somebody else that I thought was a negative person.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to pull some covers back right now. I was played by someone that's no longer in our community. Someone got me doing that. Like the next thing I knew, I was becoming this weird enforcer person for this other person that was playing me, that was placating me. And it was Gary that noticed it. It was the guy who ran Gary. He's like, hey, you realize, why isn't this person saying this? Why isn't this person doing this? And I looked at, what I did with, with Carrie, to Ash, to those folks, to Jay himself, right? I was like, this is horrible. And the first group that I reconnected with when that other stuff started going down, when they left, that other group that I'm not going to say, was Carrie and Ash. And I love them, and I love talking to them, and I'm so happy to see them together. It's such a great story, but to me it was like a redemption point, right? Because then I reconnected back with Chauffeur Chris, who was one of the first accounts I connected with in RP. Love Chauffeur Chris, love that kid guy, but man, I don't know, but love Chris.
Chris is an amazing person. Yes.
Yeah, but to me it was about redemption. It was like, do I still poke and stoke? Unfortunately, you go look at my Twitter feed right now. Yeah, I did it again yesterday, but I feel like I've gotten better, and I don't do it as much as I did. But
well, I'm glad that we can talk about these things and get past them and move on. You know what I'm saying? That's important. That's the important part. Like, okay, shit's out there. Just get done with, make your apologies, do what you do, whatever, and we'll call it a day, right? Done.
That's how it should be.
Yep.
But not everybody does that shit, and we were talking about some of the bullshit we've dealt with, and I didn't want to get too deep into this stuff, but
yeah.
I feel like it's necessary because I met half these guys that are in the chat right now in the Morningside group, right? And then half of them had me blocked forever after I left. And then we got past that shit though. Like everything's cool because we were all being played by you know who.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was about. And
the funny thing is, Jay, that's exactly what was happening on the Halloween. Everyone thought Haddonfield had its stuff together. Everyone thought, oh, that's the premier community. That's what it was. But it really wasn't. There were two people that were running that and were playing myself and Gary against others. When Joe came into the picture, it was like, hey, we're going to bring Joe into these chats. No. We don't know him. When we started talking to Len Peterson with Bud, my gosh, you would have thought that we did a cardinal sin. I mean, the DMs I got about this, I'm like, what is wrong with this? And we started to realize that these folks that we had in this group were doing the same thing that was going on in that Morningside area. So we had to do the same thing. We had to do a coup. We had a certain big account with 500 something followers who we love that came in and helped us make it happen. Without that, it probably wouldn't have been nearly as successful as it was. And now I look at this now, like I sit here and everyone on this phone right now, on this call, every Tuesday, these are my personal buds. We're on PlayStation. We're playing Friday the 13th. We're laughing at each other. We're making fun of each other. We're saying things that are just human and just, so much fun. It's a blast. And Well, you know, I got to tell you, when you're sitting here in this pandemic, in this world we live in, and everyone's telling you not to go outside, and everyone's telling you, you know, stay away from people, the fact that you can make such good friends because of that, I'm like, this is amazing, you know?
And the technology, like I even like this Zoom call. Zoom was big during the COVID thing, and that's what really brought it forth to look where we're at now with it, you know?
So to add to that, when I got in the community, like I heard once I started getting into the Halloween verse and starting to get to know these guys, they were talking about how things had happened and they lost friends. And I mean, it was a traumatic experience. And some people left forever because it was just that damaging to what they wanted to do this. And so they just never came back. And I thought, you know, it's people on Twitter, like it's not real friends that you know out there. And I didn't really understand that at the time. But now looking back at my mentality when I first got into it, like, yeah, I'd be devastated if somebody came in here and started fucking with us and tearing us apart. Because Travis is right. We are friends, you know. On Tuesday nights, we fuck with each other. We talk shit about each other. We're friends, and Thursday nights as well. And I mean, we do this all week long. You know, every day we communicate in some way, whether in character or in person, and we know each other enough that, you know, somebody says, "Hey, what's your address?" and you shoot it back at them because you trust them. Oh yeah, I mean, I can understand how that trauma would would affect you.
Yeah.
Well, even though, like, if you can get a quality, just a quick story out of it, to me, the best one of the best ones I ever did was honestly Harley in the chat. When she was buying and looking at the Myers house, when she would reply to John Strode, I could hear Harley's voice. Everything I read in my mind, I was reading it in the voice of Margot Robbie doing Harley. This is gold right here. This is pure gold, and she got it. Cobra Commander. When I read his tweets,
I love Cobra.
I hear his voice.
Yeah.
And
that is. Sorry.
No, go.
No, that is the key to nailing these characters. If you can read it and you can hear what they're saying in that character's voice, nothing better.
I got goosebumps thinking about this too. Like, that's what got me into this. Like, I want to explain a little bit. So yeah, I joined up with the Morningside group, not knowing even what RP was at the time. And this was during last year lockdowns, whatever, right? When all that was going on. So yeah, I was watching Joe Bob and tweeting along with them guys, and I saw these guys pop up, and I'm big into Phantasm, love the movies, and got involved with these guys. That's how I met Harley and Brett in there and all them guys, Chris. And that led me to when Harley was hitting up the group, trying to make peace. You guys remember that shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was, part of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, we thought shit was fixed with everything, honestly. And then Bonehead started his crap, and then she left and I left. And I remember talking to the Ginny, not knowing it was you, Joe, and being like, Ginny's so fucking cool. I don't know who it is, right?
That's the same thing I did.
Yeah, like me and Harley would be like messaging each other. Ginny's awesome. Like, what's up with Ginny? She's cool. Yeah. So
Ginny was so cool, I didn't trust her. I'm like, this isn't real.
Right? I'm like, you're so laid back. I love it. And that helped us, like, get to know you guys, you know? And I'm grateful for that. Like I said, Harley, shout out to her. And shout out to Evil Dead Ed, one of my dudes from way back. What's going on, brother? Thanks for coming in.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Of this group on here, Joe, you were the first to role play with Bonehead.
Yeah, he joined us as it was between, I think you briefly had Paul Holt.
Yep.
For a little while, and after you decided to switch to a different character, I was asked to pick him up, and I'm like, I don't want to be Paul and Ginny. That would be kind of weird. And then he picked up Paul, and I was kind of feeling him out for a little while. And then he DM'd me and started talking about Paul actually being Tall Man from Phantasm.
Right.
And when that happened, I was kind of like, oh shit, because he had been on his Phantasm account, like replying to stuff Ginny said, saying, yeah, Paul is actually Tall Man. And I was like, well, that it's a neat idea, but it just, for the established world that had been built for, I mean, you guys had been going for 2 years before I even joined the group. So there was a lot of world building that had already been done. And that just, Paul being Tall Man would not fit in that world.
Right.
And he was only there for about 3 days, but when he was kind of arguing with me about this, I told him, like, look, if this is what you want to do, if you want to do the Paul being Tall Man thing, the best thing you could do is just make your own group. So you can be the one that makes that decision. It's a fresh thing. There's no pre-established world. And that's what he did. And whether it's good or it's bad, I think overall, long-term, it's hopefully been good.
It was you.
It was me. I was the one that gave him the idea.
Whoa. Jay, do you have like like art you could do, like late breaking news?
Give me 2 seconds here. I can whip something up in Photoshop quick.
Breaking now.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. I have a little scrolling banner at the bottom. I can totally write stuff in there.
Yeah.
There was I don't know if this is, there was also a point where he was one of his, from my understanding, one of the first things he had people do was block Ginny. Like, he hated Ginny, but he also didn't know that I was Vincent the ambulance driver from Friday Part 4.
I didn't either.
So I was using that account to try to
Here we go.
get him to get everyone to stop arguing. That was my peacemaking account, because he wouldn't talk to Ginny. So at one point I was DMing myself as Vincent to talk to Ginny, to relay things to him, to try to calm things down. It obviously didn't work, but that was I did a lot of there were a lot of long nights of me just laying in my bed, sitting on my phone, like, okay, how can I keep this from going into an all-out war? Oh, yeah, it was all of Friday the 13th?
Well, I had to do that too with Amity. All of a sudden, our old Loomis was going after Amity like pretty hard. And I actually reached out to the Len account, and I still have this chat out there. And, I said, I don't know why I'm the one having to do this. And Bud's response as Len was, because you're a good person.
Right.
I don't know if Bud remembers that chat. I still have that chat. It's at the bottom now of all the ones that had the history. But, we went at it a few times, and Bud said that. But, it was, all for the better now, because here we are. And one of the things that old Loomis had said to us, we said, hey, we're bringing Bud on board with this, because he's our pal. Bud's a fellow vet like myself. I'd do anything for the guy. His parting words to us before he left the group and tried to burn us down, which lasted about 30 seconds, was, he'll turn on you. You're going to regret this. I'm like, it's Twitter. What?
Why are so people now? That's a good question. Why is everyone so fucking serious on Twitter about this stuff?
Right.
Like, I don't get that. Like, I'm trying to understand that point. If anyone here has a clue, please.
Well, I think it's because, and this is why with Strode I started tweeting my face. I started tweeting who I was.
Right.
Because I was realizing there were a lot in the horror community that hated RP accounts, and I was one of them, because if I look back, I was a troll. I was saying these things that I didn't have the guts to say if I really showed myself. So you have to show who you are. You have to.
That was the key to setting all this right, is to put our faces on this. A lot of people hide in the shadows, when you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They don't put their fucking face on it. They wear their little $2 Dollar General Jason Voorhees mask. The key.
Wait a minute. I have one of those.
Yeah. Well.
But you ain't wearing.
You also don't look like you weigh 400 pounds either. So.
No.
It's not you.
No comment.
So, putting our faces on it, nobody can fuck with us now.
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a very interesting point, and some people were talking about this earlier. Like, real quick, shout out to Hot Heart Queen. Hey, hun, thanks for coming in.
Hey.
One of my other favorite people in the entire world. But like, I felt like, I should ask, okay, instead of saying I felt like, do you guys think that putting your face out there kind of ruins the character bit, makes it harder?
I think it doesn't ruin it. I think it depends on how much of a just you want to be like into the group, right? If you want to straight up role playing and hide your face, everything, cool, great. You know, there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have this very small bubble. You know, it's not going to get so much. That horror community is so huge and it's so just monstrous in its size that if you want more folks to interact with you and just talk horror and just have fun, that's when you have to show your face. So I think it depends on where you want to go. I showed my face as a mechanism to disarm those who I had wronged in the past that were coming at me hard. And I said, I got to stop this. And I think it was actually Missy I talked to about that. I think I ran it by her. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was her, you know, because she's my concierge. I love her. Like she's there's a couple people I burned down for. She's definitely one of them, her and Bella. But I think she was the one that said, yeah, I think that's a great idea because, you know, you disarm them, you take away the hate. And when I did that, it just went away.
You get caught up in stuff sometimes, you know?
Oh, Jay, I'll tell you, these guys know. You would be surprised how deep I was in the horror feud, the horror community field. There are feuds going on between these fams, these communities that are just crazy and personal. And I was being pulled in, and it's like I felt like a free agent, and I was into freaking deep. It was nuts.
Crazy.
I'm surprised I don't get more requests of people taking shots at other people.
Wait,
There's so much drama all the fucking time.
did you say shots?
Are we doing shots?
I don't have shots.
Take it.
Shot.
How about a drink, guys?
All right, let me get a shot here. What do we got? I wasn't gonna drink because I'm
I
super
think-
hungover.
There it is.
The showing our faces was important because it solidified trust between us as a group
Right.
Yeah.
I can
more
see
than
that.
anything. So that's why it was important that we show our faces because
I agree.
Yeah.
To me,
Remember
though,
that.
one of the funniest things that ever happened with the Bonehead thing was when he left Paul Holt and he started killing off all of our characters like it was a big shot. And I was like, you realize, like I was playing Bill Brown from Friday the 13th and he killed Bill Brown. And he's like, haha, I killed you. I'm like, no, you killed a character from a horror movie and that's all it was. I'm like, I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
Right.
I'll just retweet with him tomorrow.
I was like,
Well, when they
was-
killed Jeff and Sandra, I'm also Sandra Dyer for anyone who doesn't know. When they killed that, when Sandra and Jeff died, I actually took my Sandra account and went into the comments and replied with her and Jeff looking at each other like they're around the campfire and they're giving when Paul's telling his story, giving each other that what's going on here, this is creepy look. And I just said, this is spooky. And it's just, I had, but like, even when I had the Paul Holt account, I would try to interact with his just because I thought it was funny seeing two Pauls talk to each other. And he did go along, he did start going along with that. And I had some amusing times when his Paul would reply to my Paul.
get your pencils ready because I'm going to give you every account that I am right now.
2 seconds. I just want to give a shout out again to the chat. There is a poll for the chat in there. If you guys have an opinion on showing your face as an RP character, whether it ruins the experience or not for you, feel free to join in on that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hellboy, I didn't shout him out yet. He stopped in and says he has a PS4 and wants to play with you guys.
Excellent. We got to get full lobbies. Playing with the random people blows.
Totally.
hey, I'm gonna put my PlayStation handle in the chat. If you want to follow me, I'll follow you back.
There you go, guys.
All the new people would be better because I'm tired of them running me over.
Yeah, just one note, you will get run over with the car if you play with us.
There's no camaraderie.
that
None.
happens.
There's no camaraderie.
None.
And don't listen to people if they're dead and they're trying to tell you where the fuse box is because they will run you around and then you get sand in your vagina and about kill the group and then feel bad. They come back at the apologize.
Yeah.
But there was when you were screaming, I forget, I went into stock and I walked into a room.
Oh
and
my God, the
you
scream.
hit me with I missed grabbing you. You hit me with the wrench and then you ran down. It was at Packanack and you're running down the stairs. I thought it was Eagle that was screaming.
I was going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's that
Who
was one
is
of my
that?
favorite fucking times. Was the screaming and the running.
So this is what happened Friday the 13th.
Guys, real quick. Cheers.
What? Cheers. Oh man. With Friday
Slime.
with Friday the 13th, Bud was Jason, and he was about to get a kill, but Bud was standing in the road. I was in the car, so I floored it, and I killed the person he was trying to kill. And he was on top of the roof of the car for a little bit because the glitch it went off. And after that, the car has become a weapon of long-standing revenge for anyone in the game.
Well, there was that round where I was Jason and you had me grab him so I could hold him in the road and you could run him over that way.
Yes.
Oh,
Bud's like, damn it.
I must say, watching your guys is great. I do catch your videos.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Joe recording those is great. His Twitch feed is great. I think it's what is it?
0 to 14th.
0 to 14.
0
Yeah.
to 14. It's phenomenal. Mac kills me because there was one where Joe will do this thing called the randomizer where he does something random for Jason. I'm going to start doing it too because I think it's a great idea actually. But one of them was no grab kills. So as he's slashing Mundy, every time he's hitting Mac's going ow, ow. And when it's Mac's voice that's doing it, it's like this is fantastic. This is great. But I do want to say in the RP community, there's very few peacemakers out there. Ones that don't get vetted up or get upset easy and really try and keep the peace and are chill people. And I got to say, Jay, you're one of those. That's the one thing I enjoy about you, enjoy about your account, your personality is you're very chill, man. And you have actually kept a lot of peace out there and you've done it level-headed. You've done it smart. You've been like, why bother, dude? What's the point, man?
What is the point? And I'll tell you what that comes from is not only have I've RP'd before, but I've been a big nerd in a lot of things. And we had this mobster group back in the day on Facebook I used to run, right? And, it's the same idea as RP Twitter stuff. It was a lot of drama and BS. But I was always like, we're here to have fun. We're not here to get involved in bullshit. But if people want to bring me shit, I will shut you down. You won't even know it was me.
That's the beauty of it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's no point in, any of the BS that we all had to deal with. And I'm so fucking happy that we are where we are right now. Because look where we're at. Like, who would ever figured we'd be sitting on a YouTube channel talking together? You know what I mean? About RP stuff.
Right.
Yep, never.
Like,
So,
Yeah, that's where we wanted to go. We wanted to go public, and we wanted to do a YouTube channel.
yeah, let's talk about that too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is what we've been talking about. What, mid last year, Meeker?
yep. Well, when we started bringing on with Jake Blaster Productions and Nick Push,
Yeah.
two YouTubers, that's when the cracks really started coming out.
Yeah. I think it's really what inspired us to do our Game of Thrones takeover of the Halloween verse.
Yeah, it really was. And so in full transparency, because, this group's been transparent with us. We had Lee Brackett, who's a great guy. The guy who runs it's a cool guy. I hope he's safe right now. He actually lives in Louisiana and a hurricane's coming. And I hope him and his family are safe. But with his characters, he was just getting too sexualized with them. It was becoming just borderline creepy, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was becoming like way too sexual. And then Loomis just really started acting the old Loomis like a dictator. He was telling Gary, I want you to write this, or I need you to write this, telling me I want you to do this, or you need to do this. I'm like, this is weird. This doesn't have to happen. This is not like, this is supposed to be fun. And now I'm starting to feel like it's a job and you're my boss.
Yes.
And that's when Gary and I hooked up with Joe and Bud and a few other folks, Nick Ross, the guy who plays Nick, his name's Aaron. A great kid. Love the kid more than anything in the world.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yep. Tina, all the other ones, Nurse Karen, and someone actually asked me one time, how many people run these accounts? And I said, I think it's about 12 or 13 of us.
Right.
And they're like, really? I go, yeah.
And there's always room for more.
Always.
And
yeah.
I was gonna say that's a perfect point too. Like, I will tell everybody I do play a character on there, but I'm not gonna tell these people who. They don't need to know. Just
and I'll never say no one. That's my rule.
We ain't out no one.
I won't ever say. But if someone tells me they run an account, I don't ever say.
I like to keep the characters as characters on there, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to lose your head over, guys. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, Muffin is probably one of the accounts I really got to start rocking with because
Muffin's awesome.
There
right?
there are other dog accounts that I've seen pop up because of Muffin.
Yeah.
And none of them, I don't know how, but none of them do it as well as you do, which is
it's
I,
just
I don't quite get it, but
But there's the perfect amount of barks.
Harley, come back. The first storyline you can do is you get Muffin and we go on an adventure around Gotham. You take Muffin with you.
Can I ask a question to the people in the chat?
Yeah.
If you wanted to join Halloween verse, and there's one character that you would want to play, who would it be?
Ooh.
Even if it's an existing one. Because some of us
any of the existing ones.
because some of us have several only to cover the blind spots, and that's who
Yes.
we give up. Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
don't
there's
know
only I have
shit
like I
about
think
sports, and I'm been Trammer.
Tramer.
Dude, your Tramer account's gonna be huge. Mom, I want to be a cop. Dude, it is the greatest thing ever.
So chat, yeah, there you go. Question for you guys. Feel free to tag us in the answers there. And Harley likes to say that I had a problem creating accounts. I ran 15 accounts one time. Shut up. What's it to you?
Damn.
That's more. Right now I think I have 12 or 13 maybe.
Me and Harley
So
were having a
you
race.
got me beat.
I deleted like most of them. I keep a few just when I get bored. When I never have time to run anything though. Like I had to work 10 hours a day. I ran home and like, shoot, it's like 8:15. I need to slam this gyro in my face and get a shower and get this set up and
When I first got in, I remember talking about, well, you got to have like a daily post, and then you got to do this, and you got to do that.
Right.
Then I got all these accounts going on. I was like, there's no way in hell. Like, I only got a limited amount of accounts. I got Monday, Trammer, Kill FM, what is Trammer? Whatever.
training, bro.
You're giving me shit, man. He's a third stringer.
You know,
And then, Dwarf.
Oh, yeah, dwarf.
Hellboy RP.
Follow my dwarf.
If you want to be the Dana Carvey character, make it. We'll make.
You're in.
You're in.
You're in. Please
yeah,
do
come on,
so.
man.
Yeah, we go
Totally.
there. Yeah, it doesn't matter how minor the character is. Like right
Erotica.
now,
If you want
just-
Busta Rhymes, make it.
Oh my gosh, Freddie
It's
Harris.
awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. Dude, so we had a Joe Grizzly account that appeared for such a short time. And I am not a Rob Zombie Halloween fan, but I respect the franchise, so I respect the movies. And it was such a great character because he just talked about how he was in the bathroom, or how he had to use it, or he was talking about his truck. It was great.
It
it
was
was
pretty
like
good.
Demon from Friday 5.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the greatest characters to ever live. Thank you. Damn enchiladas.
Dwarf on golf.
Gosh, when Gary there's a video out there that Gary did, Ooh Baby, where he's singing to Anita. I think her name was Anita, right? His
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's so good.
I just found that recently. They re-uploaded it.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it is so good. My daughter just got home. I was yelling at her. Sorry, asked her to do something for me.
Oh, that's fine.
You did pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, I muted my mic, so those on the click probably, on the YouTube right
I wonder
here.
if that'll work for me. Suck my dick.
So
Nope.
We can't see the. Never mind.
I want to ask, if you don't mind, I want to ask the group on here a
Sure.
question.
Yeah. Oh, please take it away.
First horror movie, not in the theater, first horror movie you ever saw that you remember seeing.
And who are you asking this of?
The chat, you guys, and I'll start.
Sure.
The first horror movie I saw was a 1954 black and white movie I watched with my dad called Them.
Nice.
If you watched that lately, that motherfucker doesn't hold up.
Well, it's black and white 1950.
It didn't
Dude,
hold
what are you
up
talking
in the
about?
80s, man. It didn't hold up in the 70s,
It was the 50s, dude.
right?
Still
And a
think I Love
shitty
Lucy was
one.
good.
That's the one with the giant ants, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
giant ants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know if you. That's more sci-fi, really, to me.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
still.
wouldn't say it's horror.
Yeah. That movie belonged on Lindsay Wallace's TV in Halloween.
Yeah.
for
There
sure.
you go.
Well, someone can get that on the TV. I can have her watching that. I'm also Lindsay Wallace, by the way. Hi.
Are you really?
Yes, you didn't know
Dude,
that.
I did not know that.
Look at this, man. You got Scars as Dracula from for Brett. Who also on here, right?
Don't go
Hellraiser.
to sleep.
Who else in the chat wants to take it here?
What about the rest of you guys? What's your first
Yeah.
horror movie you ever saw?
Mine was I don't know what. Well, my mom let me rent the Friday the 13th Nintendo game when I was like 7. And
That
then I
doesn't
wanted to watch
fucking
the
count.
movie. No, I wanted to watch the movie, and then I think I was 8 or 9 when she let me watch the first movie. And I was a little annoyed because Jason wasn't in it, and I didn't know any better. This was before the internet. It was like 1991.
The Land
But,
Before
yeah.
Time, right?
Yeah, for me, it was the original Friday the 13th.
World.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I'm one of those people that can remember shit from when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So I think the first one that I remember was the Frank Langella Dracula. You remember that one? It had
Wow.
Donald
Yeah.
Pleasance in it. That would probably be the first one that I remember. It's a very
Donald
underrated
Pleasance is a
Dracula movie,
legend.
by the way.
That was yeah, I remember that. It was a long ass time ago.
Oh, Kaiju, Poltergeist. Gosh, that character
Oh.
from the later Poltergeist, the Reverend, still to this day
Mhm.
haunts my dreams.
Let me
Not-
tell
Yeah,
you, I almost started that as a character.
dude. Oh my gosh,
Really?
it'd be so hard for me to interact with him.
I would.
And then
Now,
Poltergeist 3 is an underrated movie too. I
Extra-
enjoyed that one.
Exorcist 3 is underrated.
oh well, we can.
I
get into
agree.
that. We can get into
I
that.
fucking agree with that.
Mac, I want to hear about your movie, and then I'll share mine.
My first horror movie was in 1978. I was 5 years old. My mother took me to the drive-in, and we saw a double feature that was Love at First Bite, which was a Dracula.
Fucking George Hamilton.
Yep. And Dawn of the Dead, which
Ooh.
just came out. And I remember it was my introduction to horror, so it was something that was traumatic, obviously, but it was something that could happen to anybody. Like, these weren't the stories you heard of, well, this monster or that. And of course, I make no bones about me being Irish as fuck.
Really?
So, yeah. So
I had no idea.
yeah. Little known fact. But anyway, we tell those legends and those lores, but when it came down to like what I seen that night on the screen, it could happen to anybody. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your brother, your sister. It didn't have an age limit. It was anyone. And it just fucked with my head. And I was hooked on horror ever since then. I loved it.
I'm trying to think. Like, there's like a couple movies that come to mind. All right. Phantom of the Opera, Black and White Universal was probably one of that and Invisible Man were like the very first Frankenstein, those kind of movies. All the black and white Universals, right? But then, like, I found Trauma. And if you can't tell from the Toxic Avenger poster hanging behind me, he was a big part of my life growing up. But the first one to scare the shit out of me was Dream Warriors as a real little kid. That, and then I got into Jason, and Jason's been my dude since I was like knee high to a grasshopper. Yeah, I was gonna wear that same shirt, but I rocked my retro tonight.
Nice. So, Jay, Missy asked a question out there.
I see it.
It's a great question.
Let me get to the chat, and we'll get to that question right off the bat here. Harley says something about Dorfman Golf earlier. I don't think that's a horror movie.
No, yeah.
Dorfman Golf, yes. That movie has canceled all over it if that played today.
Right.
I love it.
Let me look
But
at this.
Tim Conway was in what was that detective movie he was in with Don Knotts with the Wookalar?
Mm.
Do you remember that
Nope.
one?
Mm.
Private Eyes.
Oh, I'm a young buck, guys. I swear. I'm only 12.
I bet most of the people don't even know who Don Knotts is.
I remember.
I know who
I've heard the
fucking Don
name.
Knotts
I
is.
know
There's
you
not-
do.
The Andy Griffith Show.
Gosh.
Right?
Mis-
Barney for life.
Mr. Limpet.
Wasn't Mr. Limpet? Wasn't he in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks? Or
No,
am I
Yeah.
mistaken?
that
No, he
was-
wasn't.
Was Angela Lansbury in that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Jessica Fletcher, Murder She Wrote.
Jeez, old
There you
Pete. Tom Hanks started his career in horror.
That's true.
Yeah.
Burbs?
True. What was that movie?
Bosom Buddies.
Bosom
No,
buddies.
he knows you're alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the Burbs even horror?
It's in the horror section, but
Horror
it's not
comedy.
horror.
Horror
Yeah,
comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
if you've
yeah,
seen
definitely.
Mazes of Monsters, I don't know if you'd consider that horror, but that was a horrible movie.
I'm looking at this real quick. We got Satanic Rites of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Don't Go to Sleep.
That's all the Christopher Lee ones, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Ghost
Those
House.
are fucking crazy.
Hammer
Chris-
films.
Oh, Hammer was
I love Hammer films.
Hammer time, right? Let me see. Scream is in there. We got Christopher Lee, a lot of Christopher Lee. Jaws, and then a child's film, The Witches, Dawn of the Dead. Oh, a lot of good ones out there, guys. A lot of good ones.
I've never seen the old Dawn of the Dead. I've seen the
remake.
Really?
the Zack Snyder remake. Yeah.
It was a good remake. It was
Yep.
when remakes weren't overdone. So when you saw a remake, you appreciated it a lot more. But yeah, he
Right.
did a great job with it.
So,
Frankenstein 1931. Wow.
yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I guess I'll get to Missy's question.
Bad.
People are eager to get this out there. And it looks like Meeker's already ready for this. So, Missy is asking everyone in the chat here, if you could wipe one thing away from the original Halloween films, what would it be? And who wants to take it first? I don't care. Go around the circle.
I mean, I would be happy to if no one else would like to. The Strode, the brother-sister storyline.
Ooh.
It caused too much crap, too much swirl, too much. It made Michael Myers have a purpose. It made the Shape have a purpose. The Shape does not, should not, needs not a purpose. And that Strode family member line has caused so much swirl, so much grift throughout the entire franchise.
I kind of liked that, though.
And that's okay, because I'll say this about the Halloween franchise. This is why I love the Halloween franchise. I love Friday the 13th because the kills are phenomenal. They're top notch.
Right.
I love the Halloween franchise because it has so many different threads, so many different stories, so many different, groups of storytelling that it appeals to so many more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is the question from the original Halloween or just in general?
The original Halloween. If you
The
could
very
take away.
first one.
Yep.
Well, then they weren't brother and sister, so I can't say that crap.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm going to count 1 and 2
Oh.
in this just because.
Well, if it was the series, I was going to say get rid of Dominique.
No.
Ooh,
I knew that was coming.
that's a good call out.
Anyone
Wait.
who's talked to me about Halloween 5 before knows my hatred for that man.
Her question does say the Halloween films, the original Halloween films. So I guess it could
Oh.
be the whole series.
Oh,
Dominique gone. Deborah Hill never knew him.
If she doesn't mind, maybe she can clarify. Because it's from the original movie. It's hard to think of anything.
Yeah, she said keep John Strode. I'll tell you guys something right now. John Strode will never die, and he goes away every Halloween. It's going to continue on a vacation somewhere and watches the world get slaughtered.
That's the most brilliant fucking storyline ever, by the way.
And he leaves his wife and kids.
Yes, every year. It's a real estate convention in Vegas.
Well, it's like last I know we rebooted since then, but like last Halloween, I think Deborah died and he came back and he was like, "Oh, who gives a shit? Where's my dinner?"
He made a man cave.
And he had Meeker's house.
Yeah, he took Meeker's house.
The original films. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a controversial one. I would erase Jamie Lloyd.
Ooh.
Oh.
I respect it.
I mean, sure.
You tell me if Halloween 4 would have been better if Michael just got out and stalked all new people. No family bullshit. Just go back to basics.
Yeah.
It would have totally. I think it really would have taken a story in a new direction. It could have used, and I understand the brother sister aspect in regards to making Michael not have a purpose, being that ruthless killer like we see so many others, like But like we said, Myers, Halloween, Carpenter started it all with this whole genre. I feel like,
Yeah, and it's tough because Danielle Harris is so great.
right? They could have cast her as a new character. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So I know, like Evil Ed said, remove Rob Zombie. Hey, I know
Danielle
that
Harris.
Rob Zombie films get a lot of hate, but it's something new. It's something different. It's someone else's take on it. I don't enjoy them, but I don't hate them. And like, if you had to tell me ask me which movie I hate most, I'm gonna say Halloween Resurrection.
That's a very safe answer.
Yeah.
Very. Don't think many people are going to argue with that. Can't
I
dispute it.
I just can't get over Halloween 5. I just can't. That's the worst one for me.
Well, the poster on it, what does it say? He's coming, and this time they're ready. If someone would explain to me how they were ready.
They didn't fucking know.
yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, how are you ready? Like, come on.
You take the first time that you had a heroic, smart law enforcement character in a horror film, right? And you do that character like that, where you think, okay, we're going to take his death scene out because we want part 6. If it comes back, he's going to be the Loomis, like he's going to be the protector, like this hunter type guy. And then he's completely written out and you don't know what happened. I have to, I'm leaning more towards Joe. Dominique part 5 really is when it took a dump, man.
Yeah,
I hate that man.
I've always said on our chats, our streams, that Mustafa Akkad is a shitty producer, and I don't think enough people say it.
I'm not as up to date with all the Halloween stuff as you guys are. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm not even close.
Well, you have to be if you want to keep up with Gary at all. There's a guy who knows the Halloween franchise. Holy smokes.
I'm learning.
Yeah, I know Friday the 13th pretty well. I watch Crystal Lake Memories 2-3 times a year just because I love it. But yeah, Gary, he knows Halloween. So like you can just say, like, ask him a random question and he'll have an answer for you in 12 seconds. It's amazing.
That's a beautiful thing to see. Like, as somebody so into this stuff, like, I love it. That's what it's about.
Well, I watched it once.
Once is better than none.
So there's something you just said, Joe, that kind of just, ears perked up a little bit because this is just how I feel about it. The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh.
Fantastic film, great character, great story. Wes Craven just hitting everything, and we're hooked and we're loving it. And he's got us, and this is great. But I think we give him a pass on that ending.
Oh, the ending was.
I
had to when you mentioned the ending when we were talking about it like a month ago. I rewatched the movie then, and I had completely blocked the ending out of my mind. That's like my brain just didn't want to acknowledge it existed.
The ending of the first film.
Yeah.
When she gets through the door.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think the studio and Wes Craven agreed on how to end that. So.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, man. When I saw that, I remember my sister worked at a Lowe's theater, and so I got to see a shitload of movies for free, including the Hellraiser.
Ooh.
And I fell in love with that chick who was in it. Like, I don't know what it was about her, but yeah, Ashley
Simpson.
No. Anyway, went and saw Nightmare on Elm Street, and I didn't really like it. Like, Freddy was too quirky. I'm a Jason guy, so I like the no talk, no bullshit, no please, no conversation. You're just gonna die. That's how it is. And Michael Myers, my mother took me to see that as well when it came out. And that was my mindset. Like, that's what a killer does. He doesn't fuck around with you. He doesn't care. But Freddy had a sense of humor. And I don't know why I was against that. Because a couple of years later, I'm like, all right, he kind of grows on you after time.
Right.
But coming out of the gate, I was like, nah, I didn't like it.
I know Carrie asked, "What would you do for the end?" And be honest, I have no idea, because that's why I work in product management, and then I get to criticize a movie.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we'd say that we hate the ending.
But
It's tough to say how you would fix it because I don't know.
but I watch it. I still watch it when it's on. I turn it on because Joe said it best. You forget about the ending until the ending, and then even when it's over, you don't go back to the ending. Really, you're thinking, "Man, that was awesome, Johnny Depp. What a great scene! Wow, you know."
Overall, I definitely think it was a great movie. Overall.
Yes,
And that's
totally.
I don't
Like-
think the ending,
Sorry.
you could just end it with them driving away in the car. You know, you didn't have to end it with anybody getting dragged through a window like it's Freddy, man. He works outside of a reality. So you could end it any way you wanted to think, oh, well, it's over, and then come back in with the next film and be like, shit, it's not, because
Yeah,
Freddy
whoops.
works outside your reality.
I think
Well, from Nightmare 2 was another beast entirely.
Yeah, but the redhead was hot.
Yeah,
That's what I got. I mean, she was like hot for that time.
Sure.
yeah. That
Good job, Doug.
that little love scene they have in that movie is pretty hot, man.
Well, I know what I'll be
And
watching
Nightmare on Elm
later.
Street. Yeah.
You know, I have to say though, because Jay, I'm sure you saw Brett's question. Out
I did.
there, right?
I was gonna.
Yeah.
I think that's coming next. So
Yeah,
anyone,
that was a good one. Yeah.
any other comments on the Halloween franchise? What we changed? We can move on. All right.
I just want a clean slate for Michael. We almost got it with Resurrection, but they did what they did. But I just want a clean slate with Michael where he can just go somewhere else.
Out of Haddonfield, huh?
Like Cabo.
You know, I do have
back to Summer Glen.
I do
Like,
have a pretty solid theory on who John Carpenter's real evil person
This
is.
is
in
brilliant.
I love this.
Oh yeah,
Brilliant.
we gotta hear that.
But I don't
I
know.
think
It's
everybody should hear
Jay's
that.
show. Jay said there's a question. We can come back to it.
Yeah. Let's. Okay, Brett. Shout out to Brett Ashy Slashy. Let me tell you, him and Harley were the first people I wrote a story with ever, and I will always remember that story. Panel. What idea would you use to improve any of the Halloween or Friday the 13th films?
I want this guy back at a summer camp with counselors, with kids. The only time he was ever at a camp with counselors and kids was which movie?
Part 6.
Yes.
I was
And
gonna
that
say.
is my favorite Friday by a pretty wide margin.
I'm gonna fist bump you on that. Oh, there you go.
Put him back in his element. Put Jason
Please.
back where he belongs.
Please. Okay.
Yeah, part 6 was just, it was almost, it was
Amazing.
basically perfect.
Even though you had 10 forehead Sheriff Garris, it was still a good movie.
Right.
I thought Sheriff Garris was great.
Yeah, he was.
And this deputy with the bang. I love
Red-
the
Ya bang.
Yes. I love that wherever the red dot
And-
goes, you bang.
Then Papa's checking his reflection in the mirror.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that whole movie was great.
Yeah, I think it's Tom McLaughlin was the guy that wrote and directed that. I think he might have saved the franchise. Like if he wasn't there for 6, I don't know if we get Friday 7 because 5 was not good.
Well, I was gonna say, so we got Friday. Mac, any thoughts? Anything you think would change on either franchise or add to it?
Or add to it or take away.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I'm much more critical of Halloween than Friday the 13th because Friday the 13th to me is like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they're just gonna throw you whatever and you're gonna love it.
Right.
Because it's Jason and that's at the end of the day. But Halloween's a much more calculated and well thought out film. And I think all of part 5. Goddamn horrible.
Not gonna argue with that. Only
Oh
movie that was worse.
shit! Like I'm not kidding. We did the watch party, and I fell asleep. And my son Ronan, who these guys know real well,
Because he kills us as Jason.
yeah, he's pretty easy.
Great smack talker too.
Yeah, he's a shit talker for sure. Must get it off his mother. But anyway, yeah, it was just useless. We didn't need any of that.
Well, like with Halloween 5, I think they could have the movie would have been drastically it wouldn't have been drastically improved, but if they moved Rachel's death to where Tina died at the end, if you put Rachel's death there, I think that makes the movie a lot better.
Right, but I mean, they were, but we just still kicked off the movie with Rachel being a fucking complete idiot.
Well, yeah, she's not the same character.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not the. It's not the same Rachel from.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that Sheriff Meeker would hire 2 clown cops in his department?
Well, he probably wanted the things to be a little more light and upbeat at the station.
Well, after part 4, where the whole fucking police department got dusted.
Now, there was a few off that night, I'm sure.
Yeah,
2 or 3.
you take what you can get.
And boy, did he ever.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think Meeker or Travis, you're on the right track about Friday the 13th. Back to the camp setting, but I would dovetail on that and set that motherfucker in the 80s.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Let's go back to the part 3, part 4, Jason. Like that look.
Oh my
where
gosh.
where he can run and shit. Just fucking do it there.
The pure horsepower, yes.
I gotta say this.
That's simple.
I agree 120% with take it to the 80s, but I think you should make it like, I really enjoyed the remake, okay? I liked the way they made Jason. He felt more survival. He was moving. He was running. He was digging tunnels. He was like, grew up in the woods. I like that idea. I like the where they took it, and I think they should incorporate that into an 80s setting.
I didn't really dig Rambo Jason. I didn't
Not a fan?
dig it. Not a fan, but I mean, it's not the worst Friday the 13th.
But regardless,
well, that's Jason Goes to Hell, and there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys said something that was brilliant. I mean, I'm like sitting here shocked. I was like, why didn't I think of that? A little jealous. Yes. Back to the 80s, man.
Yeah, totally.
With today's film quality, God, that'd be such a great film.
And look at all the stuff that's coming out with that retro look right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to shout out Fear Street because I thought that was a great series they had going on with that.
I like the second one a lot. I didn't much care for the first and the last one, but
I
I
tried.
thought the second one was good.
I really did. I tried.
I like the idea of it. I'll say that.
But I didn't buy that it was the 90s, though. I just didn't see it.
Right.
I like getting some classic throwback vintage type stuff, and I enjoyed it, for that reason. But I also liked what American Horror Story did with 1984. And I know that's caused, some heated debates amongst our Halloween group when we're playing Friday the 13th, but I enjoyed that throwback. I enjoyed that slasher look.
Well, they definitely nailed the 80s look for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely nailed that.
Yep. So, do you want to hear the theory about who John Carpenter's
Yes.
Easter egg?
This is brilliant.
All right.
While you tell this, I'm going to get a beer.
Do your thing, brother.
Give
All
me
right.
one.
So this is going to cross over from Halloween 1 and 2, right? That's it. Let's just stick to that in the beginning, right?
Sure.
But John Carpenter put several little dust of ha-ha-has in that movie and put them right in front of us, and we didn't even notice. First of all, Michael Myers escapes, right? He knows how to drive a car. Loomis, and Dr. Hoffman, I think who was credited as being, or when, I can't remember which one he was credited as being, says, for God's sake, Sam, he can't even drive a car. What's Loomis's response? He was doing very well last night. Okay, hold on to that. Now, we know in the first movie, Myers goes after Laurie. Why? This is just the first movie. What does Laurie do? She walks up to his house and she puts the key out there. But let's go back to that conversation. Who sent her to that house? Morgan. Who sent her out of the way? Because Tommy even said, why are you going this way? This is out of the way to the school. I have to drop the key off because someone's come to look at the house. Folks, realtors do not let people look at homes alone. That's why they're realtors. That's why they have insurance in case someone gets injured. We all know that, right? So someone's going to come in there and look at that home alone, right? And someone comes there and looks at that home at 3 p.m. and they don't notice the dead dog fresh in there. They don't notice things, might feel a little weird. They don't call the cops. They even called Morgan Strode to say, hey, dude, someone's been in here. There's a freaking dead dog sitting over here. Like, you might want to get over here, right? Morgan does nothing. Cool. Okay. So let's keep going here. Halloween 2. Laurie's in the hospital. Mixture was at that party with Laurie's parents. It's all over the news. Lounge shut down. People are freaking out. Did you ever see Laurie's parents once at that clinic? once. Not one time were they there. They knew what was happening. They had to make sure that job was done, right? He wanted to make sure that his now adopted daughter, who they took to visit Michael, you remember the flashback scenes? They took Lori to visit Michael in the hospital. That happened. So Michael could see her, could know her. And if we go back to the driving lessons, which was a very blatant line, who do you think might have taught Michael to drive? Good old Uncle Morgan Strode. I'm telling you guys, Morgan Strode is the bad guy, the cause of everything in Halloween. He taught Michael to drive. He made sure Michael knew his target. Lori was adopted. He never and his wife made it to the hospital. His adopted mom even said to Lori, "What? I told you, I'm not your mother." Morgan wanted her gone. He wanted that insurance money. And most importantly, he wanted that Myers house to be an attraction that he could then make money off of.
Wow.
I'm telling you, dude, Morgan Strode is the evil genius of Halloween.
And the Man in Black.
And the Man in Black. There's more
Why
to it.
are you not playing a fucking Morgan Strode, dude?
It's hard
Now,
to find that voice there.
I'm going to do a video. It's one of the first ones I'm doing. I've got all my hardware set up. And I'm actually going to produce and do a video that explains all this, does the clips, does the music. It's going to be like Dateline style almost, right?
Beautiful.
It's going to be great. But yeah, that's my theory on who John Carpenter's secret laugh at all of us is.
Well, what was his motive to do all this?
Money.
Money to drive up the price of that house, right?
Fledgling real estate company, not making it big.
This is the first time I've heard
Halloween
that.
comes in.
I loved your reaction to that, Jay, when you kind of sat back in your chair and you were like,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
It makes sense. I never thought of it. That's brilliant. And I hope to hear more theories soon.
Yeah, I'm working on it. There's more to come. There's a whole Man in Black thing to it that fits into it as well. We take it deeper.
Where are we going to find these at?
You'll find them on the Halloween Verse YouTube channel one day when I finally figure out how to get this done. I have the Sony Vegas studio. I got Jake Blaster showing me how to make this stuff now. He's taking time to do that. Jake Blaster Productions on YouTube. Great guy, great follow. And yeah, it's going to be out there.
I love it. I love to hear fan theories.
Yes, Terry, fan theory video. Yep.
That's beautiful. Chris is asking a question. What do you think of the new Monsters film? I have no idea. Haven't heard anything of it. Nothing to say on it.
Haven't seen it.
So Rob Zombie's directing it. Number one.
Also, his wife's in it.
So his wife is probably going to be in it, and it's probably going to be rednecks, I'm guessing.
And it's going to suck.
You know, it's funny. Honey, can I go make a movie? I better be in it, Robert. Yes, dear. You get a horse.
You get a horse. You get to be all the characters in wigs. Congratulations. That's the whole movie.
I'm excited just to see what he does. I'll watch it. I want to see it. I'm excited to see what he does with it.
Have you guys heard anything about it other than...
It sounds like they're going to keep it close to remember the old TV show?
Right.
I don't think he's going to get too brave with this. I think he's just going to do it straight. It's going to be similar to that.
I'd be surprised.
I'd be all right
I know the house is going to be the same. I know
he's gonna shit on it in some way. I guarantee it.
Well,
there'll be lots of redneck in it. Right?
I'm gonna skull fuck the shit out of you. That line's probably gonna be in that movie.
Grandpa talking to his breakfast cereal.
What are you drinking, Jay? Is that scotch?
Oh, this is plum wine.
Nice.
Dude, I like plum wine.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I've been sitting on this for a while. I'm not much of a drinker, and I'm at a maker's mark, so I'm finishing this up. I haven't had a drink in months, so cheers to you guys.
Yeah, Lily is definitely going to be a stripper, I think.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I got to get another drink now since someone just said cheers.
Kaju Kitty says it really rated R. I don't think it's going to be. I think he's going family friendly on this one.
Do you think it'll be
Is that even possible for him?
Yeah, I think he's going to play it straight because I know he's a really big fan of the old Monsters TV show.
He was a really big fan of Halloween too.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had Michael
just wiped his ass with it.
All
right. At least he cast Danielle Harris, though.
I mean, who are you
Hey,
trying
hold
to
on.
lure in
Hold
to
on.
see?
Brad
Yeah.
Dourif as Sheriff Brackett.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about
that.
amazing. Come
Oh,
on,
I
guys. That
forgot.
He was a lot better than
amazing.
Charles Cyphers.
Oh my gosh, that was such a great character. I even bought the patch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in Halloween 2, like I said this before, when Michael starts attacking Annie in all the volume cuts, and then he finds her in the bathroom, the way he did that scene was just so fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's the 12 year anniversary of that movie today. And that's one Halloween movie that I think gets better with age, is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I'm not a fan of the second.
Well,
I've only watched it like 3
I
times.
don't know when the last time, how long has it been since you've watched it?
It's been a while. It has been a while.
Last Halloween, probably.
Since it came out.
So keep in mind all the bullshit you've heard Jamie Lee Curtis talk about trauma.
Right.
Trauma.
That she wants to show for the first time, and Rob Zombie already did it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. Like they were talking about, this is going to be very controversial. But going back to the question about something you get rid of for Halloween.
Sure.
I don't want to see Laurie Strode anymore. I am tired of Laurie Strode. I wish they would have killed her in 2018 and just let Allison and Karen or any other character take front and center. I'm just so tired of Laurie Strode at this point.
I can understand that point too. Personally, I don't know. If we're looking at the newest one, I like the idea of her being a nutso like survivalist. I think that's a cool aspect. It doesn't have to be Laurie in that role, but
You're gonna get a DM from Gary Hunt about that.
Yep. A long-standing argument. See, I agree with you. When a traumatic experience happens with somebody.
Did you say Tramer? I heard Tramer.
Yep.
Traumatic. When a traumatic experience happens to somebody, they can do anything. You don't know how you're going to react to something until you're in that situation. So somebody coming in with a fucking butcher knife and killing your two friends, right?
Right.
Is going to affect you in some way, obviously. You could either be a victim or you can be a survivor. And a lot of survivors really kind of go into a survivalist mode. Although with Laurie Strode, it's questionable about why she wouldn't leave. You know, is she just waiting for him to get out? Why did it take him so far? I mean, it brings along a lot of questions in 2018 of why this all culminated the way it did. So I can understand that, but I like the idea of Laurie Strode being a badass.
One from like that whole like a flip of the script, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know if would you be that traumatized from that one experience at that point, or would you get over it? You know what I mean?
Well, you get over it in a way.
I think it depends on the person.
Right.
I think everybody would be different in that situation. I, on the other hand, I like the new Halloween movies because there's a lot of things that went back to the basics on, you know, the little things that I enjoyed, right? Like if you talk Halloween with me, I'd say my biggest gripes about the entire Halloween franchise when it went to Halloween 4 was it was now the Haddonfield Sheriff's Department. What? It was the Warren County Sheriff's Department before, right? It's the little things like that. Like I'm a very attention to detail person, right? I do it at work, I do it at home, I do it in everything. And I love those little details. I was most excited about the new Halloween movies because they had the baby powder blue squad cars again, and it was the Warren County Sheriff's Department again. You know, the little things.
I can dig that. Trying to check the chat. Chat, if you got any more questions, feel free to pass them along. I do have another poll running. Are you excited for the Munsters film? Go ahead and hit that. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe. Go check out Halloween versus YouTube at some point. Go check out Zero the 14th, is it?
It's kind of dead. We haven't done anything in a while. We really need to.
Okay. Gives them a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
Carrie, I actually enjoy Halloween Part 6. It's funny because it gets a lot of crap from like not being in the tops of the franchise yet. You watch anyone's Halloween best kills videos, and there could be anywhere from 2 to 3 from that movie alone. in that, and it's probably the only one in the franchise that has that multiple kills from a movie in any top list of the kills in the franchise. 6 gets a lot of discredit.
I think the Thorn cult really, like that whole Thorn cult thing and what they did to Jamie, that sours a lot of people. But like what you're talking about on the watch party, there's the kills, the atmosphere kind of got back to it.
The atmosphere was there 100%. And yeah, I know George Wilbur was eating pretty well as Michael Myers up in Richmond, and I get that, but the daytime suspense, 1 pulled it off, 6 pulled it off. Those are the only ones that pulled off the daytime suspense. I'm sorry, part 4, yeah, with Loomis at Penny's during the day, that's a pretty cool shot, but that's the only daytime suspense one you get. 6 has a ton of suspenseful daytime, scenes, and that's hard. It's like I'm almost about to cry. That's hard.
It's hard, guys. You don't understand.
Leave 6 alone.
Missy, she says the producer's cut is her favorite. Do you guys prefer the producer's cut or the original theatrical cut?
I have yet to see the producer's cut, but I don't think I've heard everyone I've heard says it's better. From my
Shout Factory has a really good, it's good version. You might check that out.
But I might already have that back here.
So you have it and you've never fucking watched it?
What?
I don't if I'm gonna rewatch a Halloween movie, it's gonna be 1, 2, or probably 4. I'm not gonna just go pick out 6.
Well, you've never seen the producer's cut. It's different.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought the.
I thought it was just like
a complete. No. It is a completely different movie.
Oh, well, then I definitely have to watch that.
I'm waiting.
Did they get rid of Thorn?
Cut.
You're a goddamn moron, anyway.
Mac, what was Mac saying there? I couldn't hear you, Mac.
I'm waiting for the Schneider cut.
I want the Zach Bay cut. Michael Bay cut, I mean.
Michael Bay can eat my ass.
You get
I'm just saying.
The Dominique cut.
Well, that's just going to be.
And then Myers shows up and it's like, and
he's crying.
Oh, let's check this question out. Missy's got a question. Missy, shout out to you for being awesome. She stayed up late just to be here for this, guys.
Thank you.
She goes, PantsNinja, what would it take for a new horror icon to capture the horror fans the way Jason, Freddy, and Michael have?
Wow.
I'm going to cover this first, if that's okay, guys.
Please, because I got to think.
I got a lot of thoughts on this. First off, I don't think anything's going to capture it like those guys. I think that was a different era. It's a different time. Things are a lot more advanced now. So some guy running around stabbing people is pretty common day stuff, I feel like. I think you're really going to have to make it more of a psychological thing, not just blood and guts, I think you're going to have to get some deep-rooted storyline and make it a really, intricate plot to really, please people these days, That's me. That's my thoughts. I think you should make Doc West over here something special. Remake it Reanimator. Love Jeffrey Combs, but let's keep going with that, And anyone who wants to take it now, please, go for it.
I'm going to say give me good scenery, give me good kills, give me a quality score, and give me suspense. I feel like we've gotten too much reliant on jump scares with the slasher genre. I don't need jump scares. I don't want jump scares. I don't need an Oscar-worthy storyline.
Sure.
I know it's kind of weak and it's kind of a cop-out, but to me, that would be something that a new person could take a stab at. I don't need gore porn.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Lame.
I knew you'd say that.
Give me the gore. Give me the boobs. That's what we need. But I do agree there needs to be a new storyline. Like we got to get away from camps or, suburbia. We need something new. And I don't know where you would take it. I mean, we got Candyman in the middle of, what was that, Chicago? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So you do have those, and Chucky, I believe, was in Chicago as well.
And they're more like voodoo spiritual shit.
Right. but I mean something more rooted, in like Jason or Michael Myers or even Freddy. But yeah, it would need to take place in a whole new scenery and have its own feel, and I think that's super important. And I agree with the soundtrack, of course.
Oh, you need it.
Yeah, like a John Carpenter style soundtrack. He was the best, in my opinion, at picking out his shit.
Carpenter was a beast.
And he worked on it as well.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had a hand in that music.
I think his soundtracks are probably some of my favorites, honestly.
Go back to the Prince of Darkness. That's a damn good soundtrack.
Right?
Was.
And I will say, like, I think Sleepaway Camp should be remade. I think that is one that, and you had to have Felicia in it, or it's not Sleepaway Camp. I'm sorry.
I just like to get the ending where the face Angela's making at the end was just, that was so, I hated the face. Yeah, like it just freeze frame, and they got the never ending scream, and it's like, at least have her change her facial expression a little bit or something.
See, I thought
wasn't the face that shocked me, buddy.
Yeah.
It was the crying game that shocked us all.
The crying game.
So I love Joe, dude. Like, it wasn't the face, dude.
No, but
that was the part that
gives another perspective. Exactly, I love it.
Although I think the frozen face kind of added a bit of shock to it. Like, because there was this thing that you were just like looking at all these things at once and trying to mentally put all that together. And this was in the 1980s.
Oh, yeah, I get that they didn't have the technology, but
so I mean, I think that really just kind of sold the moment, because you're like, oh my God, there's this and there's that and there's this, and oh my God, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, that what the fuck face though. I gotta agree that face was weird. I mean,
it was.
To me, it pulled me out of the, like, instead of being shocked at the huge twist that was just there, I was just sitting there like, why the fuck is she making that face?
Mm-hmm.
And that was what I was focusing on.
Man.
Well, and with this day and age, would that really shock anybody to find out that Angela is a guy?
Like, I probably misgendered you. I apologize.
Right. I feel like it would be so PC.
Sorry.
Make a PC Sleepaway Camp, guys. There you go.
Sleepaway Camp 2 is fucking crazy.
Oh, right?
That movie's crazy.
I haven't seen any of it.
I don't think I've seen any of it.
It's Bruce Springsteen's little sister is in that.
Oh,
yeah. That's his little sister. Yeah.
Wow.
Is the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Angela Baker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't the actress keep switching? Like,
well, she played. I think she played
2 and 3.
She did 2 movies. Yeah, 2 and 3.
Yep.
And then I'm not sure. Is there a 4th one? I'm not sure.
There is another one. It's like Return to Sleepaway Camp or something. It was more recently made. I'm pretty sure of that, because I remember short guy with the afro still being in it. Dude had Daisy Dukes or whatever.
So I think there could already be one that I think people need to check out. There's a movie. It came out, I think, last year. It's called, I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's called The Stylist. Came out in 2020, and it has Brea Grant from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is in it. So it's about this hairstylist girl. It's a slasher pick, but it's like an artsy fartsy. It's a beautiful looking movie. They shot it beautifully, and it has the fucking craziest ending in a movie I've seen in the longest time.
What is it?
It's called The Stylist.
No, what's the ending?
No spoilers.
I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil it. So basically, it's this mentally unstable hairstylist who people that annoy her or whatever. She's like obsessed with this chick, but she kills them in her fucking while she's doing their hair, and she cuts their scalps off and pretends like she's them. Like this girl that played this part, she's really good, and I think everybody should check it out.
Well, if I check it out and it sucks, I'm gonna have to block.
Well, I'm not saying
Bud
it might
doesn't
not.
have the best history of movie picks, just to let you know. Friday, it told me fucking Halloween 5 was the best.
I never told you that.
No, Halloween 3.
So this movie's artsy fartsy. It's a little bit slow, but goddamn, it does have a great payoff. It
All
does.
right. Well, do you know where we can find it?
I watched it on Apple TV.
Okay.
I think you can buy it fairly cheap. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. It's Arrow Films. They do a great job. They're kind of like Shout Factory, where they sign up with your favorite franchises. Like I think they did Reanimator. Like they remaster them, like make them look better than they like they did Donnie Darko.
Right.
Looks fucking amazing in 4K.
Awesome movie.
But I think I think it's an original for Arrow Films.
I'm looking.
What's it called?
It's called The Stylist. I think it has potential.
You can rent it on Amazon, it looks like.
Yeah.
Now, let me see if Shudder has it before I go blabbing my mouth. It's on Shudder, right there.
There you go. Watching on Shudder. It's a little slow, but man, it's like just a nice little psychological slasher film.
90%.
It pays off great.
Slow.
You're just gonna have to stick with it. It pays off. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you
it's the stick with it that gets me because I.
I watched Jason Goes to Hell, and
it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. It's beautiful. It's beautiful looking. Performances are great. Even Brea Grant, Rob Zombie, she played Laurie's friend, the one with the glasses.
The one with the glasses.
The one that Michael fucking rammed his 14-inch knife through and just stuck it in her.
Oh,
you remember? She's the blonde.
The blonde.
Was she the one that was?
She was
bad influence?
Fucking from Rocky Horror. What the fuck is the? Yeah, she was one of the Rocky Horror characters.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, you got it.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. What the fuck is it? Little Nell? Maybe is that what her name was?
Oh yeah, Little Nell.
Yeah, whatever that character was.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I know what he's talking about.
Rocky Horror.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Little Nell was Riff Raff.
Do you remember Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 where they go to the big Halloween party?
Yes.
And they're all dressed like Rocky Horror Picture Show characters.
Yes.
One of the Laurie's friends is in the fucking Stylist. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Check out The Stylist on Shudder.
God almighty.
That was brilliant.
Columbia. She played Columbia.
Thank you.
You gotta stick with it. I'm with Travis on this one. I probably ain't gonna stick with it.
Monday, I'm gonna run you over.
We're gonna do that anyway.
It's coming.
This ain't a threat at this point. It's just a comedy.
I mean, even when I told you to get to the other side of the barrier, you just sat there in the middle of the road until you were flying in the air.
Laurie was
I didn't know.
Laurie was magenta. Laurie was magenta.
In the Rocky Horror?
She was dressed up as the fucking rock. They went to the Halloween party and
they went to a Halloween party and they're some big characters.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm following.
The one with the gold jacket and the red shoes is Brea Grant. She's in The Stylist.
That's from fucking Wizard of Oz, man.
Guys, I'm wondering why he runs you over. I'm just.
Look, it's not our fault. It took an hour to explain The Stylist to us.
That's fine with me.
Well, it was better than the canoe story that we got on Thursday.
Wait, what?
Do you want me to tell the canoe story?
Oh no, because I heard it.
I haven't heard it.
You don't want to hear it.
That makes me want to hear it more. Don't say that.
Tell the canoe story. I'm gonna go get it.
Okay. In 1999,
I'll be back.
I worked at a liquor store, beer and liquor store.
Sure. Okay.
And I was the beer department manager. And it's, you I have to deal with all these different companies, and you buy orders of beer, and they give you things to give away in raffles, right?
Right. Yep.
Like you go to liquor store, and they're giving away like a grill or, the hood of a NASCAR, some shit like that. So as the beer department manager, I could control how the giveaways go. Like I could rig the giveaways, for friends or whatever. So this company gave us a canoe to give away.
Okay.
So I decided I don't need a canoe. None of my friends needed a canoe. So we're going to do this legit giveaway.
Sure.
So pull this lady's name out, give her a call. Hey, you won the canoe. She's like, okay, I'll come down. And I get a call. Hey, this lady's here to pick up her canoe. And I go up there, and she had no arms. Both of her arms were amputated.
Oh, wow.
And she was so excited to win this canoe. And it was just funny. That's all. That's the story.
I mean, that is a good question, though. Like, what are you going to do with a canoe?
Hey, Mac, Travis, you can come
Well,
back.
it turns out she has a husband and kids. So
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, it's funny because I used to work in bars and stuff. I was a kitchen manager for a while. I was a bouncer, and I remember they did tons of giveaways like that. We got crap though. We never had a canoe.
Well, I guarantee you 90% of those are rigged.
Oh
for
yeah,
a friend. Yeah.
I've seen it. In fact, one time I won something, didn't even know I entered. They're like, well, you've just been a good employee, so we decided to let you win this. I'm like, I'm not even 21 yet, guys. I can't go to this concert.
So that story, Joe, you just fucking had to be there. All
Yeah,
right?
Joe. Yeah, Joe. What's up? I like the fact
You
that
missed
Joe
it,
was
Mac.
showing stuff off when he was.
Well, that's what I had to do during the Halloween H2O. I had a bunch of Mega Man toys that I kept picking up and waving in front of the camera whenever it started to get heated between Jake and Gabe.
Oh, did I miss the canoe story?
Oh,
yeah.
He can tell it again for you. It's fine. I thought it was brilliant. I don't know. I liked it. Oh, I dropped something.
I mean, I was 22 years old, an asshole. Of course, I laughed at her. You just had to be there.
Nice.
You had to keep it together while you're loading up the fucking canoe for her to take away. Yeah.
I kind of want a canoe now, and I don't even like canoes.
I'll never get in another canoe.
I think it was what the fuck is that? St. Polly's Girl beer. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, chick with a
That's who was giving away the canoe. It's
So are
like
you going to avoid the boat too now, or just canoes?
All the things.
I think it'd be
I want
great
to
to have.
more spots in the boat.
Yeah, one
Sorry,
more spot.
sorry, Jay. All your viewers left on the canoe story. Sorry.
Actually, we got more thumbs up during that story, so they like to talk about amputees and canoes. Apparently, I'm learning what my audience likes again. It's beautiful.
I'm probably gonna get blacklisted when they don't like the stylist.
Aw. Well, it's all right. We'll just have to have you come on and tell them to watch another movie. It's fun.
You know what? It's the cheesy horror movies that I actually like. So when I was just reading about the stylist, I was thinking, I might actually watch this tonight.
It's not cheesy. It's a artsy fartsy slasher. Like you remember Dress to Kill from was that 1980? That Angie Dickinson.
She was the only hot thing in it.
I don't think Mac liked that movie.
That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Mac just freaked out.
It was boring. It was like,
Well-
I don't like Ridley Scott movies. I don't like fucking what's that?
You don't like Gladiator? What the fuck's wrong with you?
No, I don't.
I actually
Um,
don't like Gladiator.
And I don't like Alien. I don't like.
Jeez, but I'm sorry. It just I don't like Gladiator. I don't like Russell Crowe.
I was gonna tell him.
And Stanley Kubrick. I don't like The Shining. Like it was slow.
Okay, Full Metal Jacket is awesome.
All right, I will give Full Metal Jacket its due.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket's awesome. But it ticks me off is when people ask which one's better, Full Metal Jacket or Platoon. How Full Metal Jacket wins.
What the fuck?
Platoon blows it out of the water.
Hamburger Hill.
I was supposed to tell you guys real quick that Hot Heart Queen had to leave, but she said bye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Wherever you are.
You know, I need to get to know some of these people. I don't really like Legacy Tales.
They're
I need to
good.
get to know
Great.
some of these people.
Oh, they're good folks, man, for
They
real.
are.
Yeah.
They are.
Hot take here.
I'm gonna show you. They've been showing up to every random live stream I've done the past couple
Yeah.
days.
Dude,
Well, Monday, aren't you in with Legacy Tales too?
what?
Yeah, Monday.
So
It's
Yeah.
not a problem if you are. You're not exclusive.
You're
to the
you're a
whole
two-timing motherfucker, aren't you?
I'm a 4-timing fucker to all
no,
you
I
guys.
got in for a short time with them. I played Elias Voorhees.
And then they booted
Which
you.
Oh, I remember that.
Which I thought was going to be a good character to go
Ye-
back into, because in March when I got into the RP, I was doing
It's Pamela Voorhees' fault. I'm sorry.
yeah. You wouldn't interact with me. She just wouldn't acknowledge me.
Well, you know what?
couldn't take
Why don't you bring it back? Maybe she might change her mind.
So when I
And
got
there's going to be a
into it with
fight over her.
that,
Crazy
I know.
girl.
it was the guy who played Tucker was the only one that would really communicate with me, because it was still, the smoke was settling from the big deal, and nobody was sure of who was making new accounts to try to get in as new
Right.
people. And at that time I didn't understand it, but now I do. That Elias could have been a perfect character to sneak back into with and be that asshole. So anyway, it didn't work out, and I shut Elias down, got the Kill FM thing going. And then I got back into once I hooked up with Legacy Tales and got to know like Carrie and everybody.
Oh, okay. I know. I remember
Together.
Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ash and everybody. She found it. Carrie thought it was. She found out I was Elias, and she was like, "Oh, you got to bring that character back." So I went to bring that character back, and you go along with Travis's story. You do get wrapped up in a character, and Elias Voorhees I wanted to play, especially with Legacy Tales, because they're so in depth with everything. It's a whole new level of storytelling in the role-playing community that was intriguing, and their spin on things. And I wanted to be a part of it, so I grabbed a hold of Elias, and I started looking back at some case files that I've dealt with and some of the stuff that I've worked with, and some friends of mine. And there's some sick shit in there. And I wanted Elias to be no holds barred, just very, he says what he wants, he does what he wants, and you're not going to stop that. And if you try to stop it, he can manipulate you. He could do this, he could do that. He was a smart, charismatic, and very evil person. And I wanted to draw off some of the cases that I've worked on, and it started bringing me into a dark mindset, and I had to drop the character.
Well,
Why? Because Pamela rejected you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Well,
Chance,
Blown out there
ju-
without Pamela.
I just messaged Pamela. She said, bring Elias back.
So, gents, unfortunately, Jay, I have to drop. It's coming up on 11. I got to go pick my son up. So,
all good.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Love you guys. Love everyone in the chat, and I hope to see more people Tuesday night with our Friday the 13th group.
I was gonna say any last minute shout outs you want to do?
Missy, love you.
There it is.
See y'all.
Thanks for joining, brother. Appreciate
Later,
it.
later.
They're talking about Rambo, man. Or First Blood.
Oh. Well, I was gonna ask you guys.
Brian
something.
Denny was so good in that. Yeah.
Do you guys feel like playing all these characters affects your day-to-day life at all? Like, does it really, like Mac was saying, it starts seeping in sometimes. So I was just curious what your guys' take was on that.
Not so much anymore.
Okay.
I think we have a good balance. So, I mean, like, we're basically seasonal. So, Halloween, obviously, going to be our biggest season, right?
Right.
So, probably starting next month, it'll probably bleed over. take over life.
It's good to know this too because
Yeah.
I gotta prepare myself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it is so much fun just to see everything kind of come together. The first time, like the first big group event like that I had, I was like, there were butterflies in my stomach. I was so nervous. I was DMing people, okay, when do you need me to do this? When do I go on? They're like, just settle down, have fun with this. And it took a couple times for me to really get used to the fact that, you know what, if you fuck up, it's okay. No one's gonna know except the people involved.
Right. And that's a big point. Like, there's a lot of, like we were talking, behind the scenes stuff that we all like plot and plan and try to make these stories and be creative and share our love for what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, the thing that Pierce and Ross and Monday, when they went on that little trip, like it was hard to keep up with that.
It
sometimes.
was. I mean, what?
You know?
Yeah.
It was.
Whoops.
Oops.
Cat's out of the bag
I
there.
don't really.
It was hard to keep up with it. Like you'd log back in and 30 things had happened and you should have commented on one of them. And you're like, damn it. But what intrigued me about the Halloween verse was in March, you guys did a thing that was like a pre-Halloween movie with Judith Myers and her descent or her relationship's descent with Michael. And I thought that was goddamn brilliant. Like, I still think that's one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen because it came out of nowhere.
You're talking about our thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me and Hunt did that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was a whole new story like that added to the Halloween universe that I didn't know I wanted to know. You know?
Yeah.
And you just see, you know, like at the beginning, Michael's having this relationship with the sister and it's all loving and very sibling-esque. And then it just starts to deteriorate with the purchase of a mask. And to the point where he finally winds up killing her. And it's just shocking. And then John Strode fucking with him in the background.
Yeah.
Nice clown costume dork had me rolling.
And I think that was fun.
That's like one of the things I like about doing this is bringing depth to some of these characters because, you know, in the movie, Judith's on screen for what? 3 minutes?
Less time than Hunt took to finish with her. And
yeah. Well,
Gary,
exactly.
the 53-second man.
53-second man. just to bring a little bit of depth and just flesh it out a little bit. That's what I like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like with a lot of these characters, even like the final girls are the really important characters. You're only seeing them for like 15, maybe 20 minutes. So there's so much backstory, so many things that you can expand on. And that's kind of part of the fun with this is, okay, what would be something that seems realistic that this character would be doing before all hell breaks loose?
Right.
And that's kind of what occupies my mind a lot.
I can appreciate that.
That's why it's good playing Monday. You could always be there after the fact and be like, oh, this is just coming in because my team sucks.
Monday. Who watches Monday? I watch Ron Burgundy on the WWNN news.
That son of a bitch.
I gotta say, and I'm just gonna fucking say it. Burgundy is so much fun. He's such an
dude.
idiot.
The rivalry is fucking. I love that. It's one of the highlights.
Once again, I have too many profiles to keep track of.
Well, that's part of the fun. It's like trying to, because each different character, none of them are the same. So you've got to be kind of in a different headspace for each one. Yeah. And if you're flipping through trying to do one post after the other, it's like, okay, what's this character about? What are their motivations? What are they doing at this time? And that's kind of one of there's some characters I have that I feel I am terrible at. Like Sheriff Garris, I run his account. He is someone I have not been able to really get to that point where I feel like the switch is flipped and I'm playing him the way I should be. But there's others that I catch on to a lot more quickly. Like when I first picked up Rachel, I think it was like a month or two before I really started feeling like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this character. But then with Annie Brackett, it was a couple weeks because she's just a smart ass who wants to go hook up with her boyfriend.
Deputy Beefcake, right?
Yeah, deputy. Oh, that is. I get so much shit.
You're gonna run that into the ground.
I think it's hilarious.
Never. I get so much like I'll get like in DM groups we have, I'll be getting shit about the Deputy Beefcake stuff. And that's one thing I will give him credit. The prior guy that ran Lee Brackett, that's one of the things I kept from his Annie was the Deputy Beefcake thing, because I always thought that was hilarious. But that was the one character that he had, like so many of his characters that were not interested in sex, he had becoming sex addicts. But Annie, who basically dies because she's too preoccupied trying to hook up with her boyfriend, didn't really have, that was something he didn't steer into. And to me, it's just like you have staying true to the character. That's the biggest thing to me, is it's even if it's not something that's directly stated in the movie, it's like going back to Crazy Ralph.
Yeah,
the things he does, it all works. It to me, when I see him posting, I'm like, okay, that's something this character would do. I can see this character doing that, even though he's never been in a Beatles album, he's never been on a Star Wars set. But someone with his mentality, you can say, okay, I could see you're all thinking this is true, and it works for him. And that's one of the things I try to do, like try to just keep it in the same ballpark. That's what I tell people that are just getting into this.
Ralph works at Walmart, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is
DoorDash.
hilarious.
DoorDash.
The cube steak, and he's
oh yeah,
like
DoorDash.
Doreen and the deli, and selling rotisserie chickens. And...
I can't tell you how many times I've invited him over for some cube steak and Conway Twitty at the lab.
Oh, if you ever get the chance to talk to him out of character, he's an awesome guy.
Oh,
I bet Joe can't name one Conway Twitty song.
Ooh.
I cannot. I would.
That's a goddamn shame, man.
I've heard the name, but that's about it.
And then it's love. I can tell you that much.
Conway Twitty was he just put out hits.
Is it a fine time to leave me, Lucille guy?
Oh, hello, darling.
You don't know who the fucking Conway Twitty is?
You know, man, the thing is,
tight fitting jeans.
Tight fitting jeans.
I'm a fucking rock and roll guy and punk rock.
He plays Ben Trauma.
I guarantee you Conway Twitty got as much pussy as any rock star ever got.
Fucking hands down. Hands down.
I bet Dave Brubeck was reeling him in way before.
Love to Lay You Down. God, so many hits.
Love to Lay It Down. I've never heard of it.
Man.
All I know, my life is music. Never heard of Lay.
I just assumed he was like Elvis because Ralph had the Elvis plates.
I just want to shout out Jack. Thanks, Jack. Jack loves my Ron. Appreciate you, brother. How long you guys got, by the way? I should ask that.
I can keep going for a little while unless
I'm good. Whatever you want to roll into, man.
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah, I know this is supposed to be an RP panel, but we ended up talking about horror, so I don't know if that matters or not.
You know what? It's. I always say, like, this is a place for us to just pass ideas along, share inspirations, have a chat.
Missy, that's my job. That's a good one too. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with some Mel McDaniel though myself.
Mel McDaniel.
I need some Louisiana Saturday Night going on.
There's something special about like late 70s, early 80s.
I grew up on that stuff, man. Like for real.
Me too.
Like Eddie Rabbit.
Me too.
Eddie
fucking Rabbit. Yes.
I love a rainy night.
You Don't Love Me Anymore. That fucking song is a tearjerker, man.
Johnny Paycheck.
Oh man, I gotta say this. Name drop. The Highwaymen. They were my shit. Willie, Waylon, fucking all them. Johnny Cash. I grew up on that shit. Like that's what I originally grew up on. And then like classic rock, and you throw in some Blues Brothers and bullshit like that, you know.
Well, basically all I could listen to was whatever my dad played when we went on road trips. So he played like Conway Twitty, George Jones,
George Jones.
George Strait,
Yup.
Yikes.
all that shit. What do you mean, yikes?
If you ever talk trash on Johnny Cash, I'm coming to your house.
No. I ain't talking trash on Johnny Cash.
Well, I thought you
Alright.
said nice, not yikes.
So to me, there's country and western.
Sure.
Those are different things.
This country and western.
Yes.
So
Conway Twitty is country and western.
Conway Twitty is country.
No, he's
Tex
country.
Ritter is western.
Marty Robbins.
Okay, fair enough.
Marty Robbins is
Hank
western.
Williams Sr., I guess that would be western. I see what you're saying.
So yeah, I mean, there's a vast difference in those.
So Conway Twitty in his early career was probably country western, but in his later years, he probably did move to more of the country pop sound from then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I
fair.
never
That's
could
fair.
really get down with was that transition from western to country. I love bluegrass. I love the shit out of bluegrass because there's this dark satanic thing that was happening underneath it,
I have never heard the bluegrass and satanic in the same sentence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I? Is there some?
Oh, there's
sect
the
of
devil's
bluegrass
always
that I'm
lurking in the
missing?
background somewhere.
Do you have to like listen to it backwards, or?
No, you can listen to it right there.
I don't know. I will give shout outs to Old Crow Medicine Show. I'm a big fan of them guys. I'm just gonna say. But
yeah.
Joe was looking a little lost when we were talking about
Yeah,
Conway Twitty.
All of you guys are saying all these old bands. All my parents did was have whatever like oldies station was on in the car, and that
Ooh.
was like it
Your
was
parents
Simon and
listened to doo-wop, didn't
Garfunkel
they?
and-
Oh, that's
Yeah, you got stuck with the crystals.
Hey, I'm down with some doo-wop, man. My uncle's been playing in a Motown band for like 50 years, man.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I grew up and that's when I got a little older. I started going to his shows and seeing them. Like, he had a lead singer that sounded just like Aretha Franklin. I swear to God, this
Whoa.
skinny
Oh,
little white
shit.
chick, like she was like half my size, just belting it out, man. I'm like
That's impressive.
12 years old watching this shit. Like the Chain of Fools, they did a cover of Chain of Fools, and it was just fucking phenomenal.
Dude, we had to do a cover of that song in a band I was in the 90s, and the bass player of that band was a bass player for Patti LaBelle. And somehow I got hooked up with this band that was way out of my league because I was a punk rock drummer. And answered this ad and got in with them. And this guy was a ball buster. And he yeah, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be playing drums today. But yeah, Chain of Fools, he was very animate about that being the timing and the structure and the way it was. And I'll never forget him doing that. He was very animate.
And I think that's what it takes with anything we're doing creative, musically, RP, story writing, whatever, gaming. It has to be like, we have to feel it. We have to.
Yeah.
Mm.
You got to know the basics. So like, like Joe said, you got to know the character and you got to at least go back. When I went and took on Winslow, I went and looked from Friday the 13th. What was it? 3? 2?
Mm-hmm. 2.
So when I took on that character, I went back and watched the movie and really kind of watched that segment he was in a couple times and kind of got a feel for, who this guy was and what might be going through his head at these moments that we had, and kind of played off that. And I did the same with Monday and, Ben Trauma.
Trauma.
Drama.
I'm going to start calling him that. Ben Trauma.
Well, he's always injured and on fire in various ways. So
Yeah, so I
He's-
mean, I've got plans for him, but I didn't know he was in football. That was a curve. And now I'm like, shit.
Just make him have a concussion and forget half the football stuff. It'll be
Right.
great.
He's just going to be some, oh, I was there.
Oh, man. Ben Trimmer. Ryan reminds me of the very first year we did Halloween verse where we had Ben Tramer and I think what's it, Bob Sims were like stars. We did the whole football. They were the Haddonfield Huskers.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember that, but they had them. They were like the stars of the football team, and they were
There you go, Joe.
undefeated. They were like going to go to state, and then they got fucking killed on Halloween night. And then the next week after that, fucking the Haddonfield football team got like beat like 58-0 and eliminated. Ah, man, that
think-
first one was so good.
Crushing
I
defeat.
think we're starting to do
Like-
the football games again on Friday nights, aren't we?
Yeah, they built it up at fucking Bob, and like once Ben Tramer and Bob got killed, football team wasn't worth a shit.
Speaking of football teams, I wonder what Miskatonic University has for a football team.
Who?
Miskatonic U, man. I'm going to refer back to Dr. West once again.
Okay.
I'm just saying it would be fun to see a bunch of zombies playing football.
You know what? I'm gonna make a horrible confession here.
Do it. Say it. Admit it.
I've never seen the Reanimator movie.
I haven't.
I haven't either. It's on my list, but I haven't seen it
You guys
yet.
are breaking my heart just a little bit.
You
But
know
it's
what?
okay.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
I'm going to say it's fun, it's bloody, it's gory, and Barbara Crampton.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm just saying. The end.
Barbara Crampton.
Is the sequel? It's a sequel,
There's
right?
three. There's three of them.
There's three of them. Are they good? Like,
They're fun. The second one
Okay.
was pretty decent. It was like a Bride of Frankenstein play. And the third one, he was locked up in prison. It was amazing. I love it.
Is it all Jeffrey Combs?
Jeffrey Combs plays Herbert West in all three films. But there's
Good.
also other Reanimator films that people have made because Lovecraft has all his stuff like public domain. The character of West can be played by anybody. You can remake the movie. You just can't take the other people's movies.
Public domain? How old is it?
It's like 70 years, right? And for public
70.
domain.
Well, he never put a copyright on any of his shit. He wanted people to use it.
Well, I know that after a certain time, everything
Right.
becomes
Yeah,
public
so
domain.
I talked to the guy who played Shelley.
Okay.
Larry Zerner.
Yeah, there you go. He made a post that was, I think, 1925. And since I'm big into jazz and especially around that era, I contacted him and was like, you mean to tell me that I could cover and record anything pre that date and not get a lawsuit? And he said yes. So
it all
I don't
depends.
yeah, it depends on what the copyright of it was, but that copyright does run out as a date.
Like, I think Batman and Superman are really close to becoming public domain.
I have a
That's
list.
gonna suck, man.
Maybe. It might be good. But that's what I was saying, like the whole idea. I do think Lovecraft took part in the whole Cthulhu, Necronomicon, all that stuff.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
all Lovecraft. I mean, and his cohorts. The original like Reanimator story, if you read the story compared to the movie, it's different. It's a lot different, I feel like.
Like Jaws different.
You know what? And this is funny. A shout out to Heart Queen again. She was filling me in because I've never read the book, so she was telling me about it.
Jaws?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaws.
Oh yeah. I know
Terrible
lots
book.
about that.
I
Fucking-
didn't realize. I never knew.
It's not that it's hard to read.
It's a
Sure.
quick read.
It's very quick. I don't. Have you ever read Jaws 2, the novelization?
No.
Nope.
That's so. If you read that, it's different from the movie.
I would
It
hope.
was so the novelization was based on like the original script, so it's a lot different. And I recommend if you can get a copy of that, read it because I think it would have been a better movie.
Okay. I will. Well, the show's going to be here on my archives, so I'm going to have to remember this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. And by the way, thank you guys again for coming on tonight. This is awesome.
No,
Like,
Thanks
I-
for having us.
Well,
hope
thanks for
you're-
having us.
Yeah, I hope we're having fun. Everyone seems to be loving it.
Blast.
Mm.
I think people are kind of pissed that we haven't seen the Reanimator.
Well, they're partial to me, and these guys are sweethearts. Let me tell you. But no, it's really, it's one of the first like zombie stories I can think of from like original, back in the day stuff.
Missy, you really think that Jaws 3D and Jaws the Revenge are better than Jaws 2?
Oh, there's a fight brewing now.
Bring it. Missy's gonna come on here one day. By the way, I told her that.
Like she's right about Jaws 3D being better than Jaws the Revenge, but I don't know.
Jaws the Revenge was fucking bullshit.
It's
It was a story we didn't need
terrible.
about a shark we didn't want anymore.
By the way, I recently acquired a copy of the novelization of Jaws 4, which I plan to read.
Fucking
I've heard
kidding me?
I've heard of it's a little bit different.
So does it
well.
go more into depth than the character of Jaws, or he's plotting out?
No. They explains that there's the shark is cursed with voodoo. Apparently.
I hate when they try to start explaining that stuff.
Explanations are not necessary. Sometimes things just leave them as they are.
Well, Jaws should have ended after one.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched them in so long, but I did recently watch Ghost Shark, and that was one of the most amazing.
I've seen the trailer for that. I've seen the trailer.
Shark,
dude, watch it. I'm telling you, I love ridiculous stuff. Okay, if you can't tell by me, and you guys, I think, know me well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I love ridiculous.
So Sharknado spawned a fucking endless supply of these, like Ghost Shark and Mecha Godzilla Shark. Like, there's so many.
It's funny because I did a random live last night. My buddy Mad Metal Man came on, and that guy knows horror movies. And we and him were going on for 20 minutes with all these shark movies. We went down a list through Tubi, and picked out movies that we're gonna watch later and talk about live on air. So that's gonna be fun. But there's so many shark movies on Tubi. I just want to say that. Shout out to Tubi. They're not paying me, but I'm giving you a shout out anyways.
Hopefully you'll get a check in the mail soon.
Oh, I'm trying to get these subscribers. Let me tell you, that's my first goal. But I want to try. My goal with like some of these shows is to get like so many different people from the horror community on. I want to get as many as possible. I know you guys have stopped in for a couple of them. We had Stabby Time's been showing up a good bit.
Yeah,
he's been fun. And
he's good people.
Mac's been here a lot.
Yeah, I'm no stranger.
Yeah, man. This is fun.
Yeah. Come on anytime, guys. You're always welcome. I'm going to say that. Anytime we do a panel show, open invitation to all you guys, and including Maker, Mr. Busy.
Yeah, he's always busy.
And Gary. I'd love to get Gary.
So
too.
he says.
He's always having liquid dinner. Always.
No, we all got to live, right?
Yeah.
Coming in or going out.
You really need to get Hunt on here, man. That guy's so knowledgeable. People will be blown away.
You two could talk about like photo editing and video editing too. I know you do a lot of the video editing stuff. He does basically like he clipped together. God, what was it? It was a Friday the 13th story that we can't use anymore because the Friday the 13th group is dead. But he had like Dr. Loomis cut in with Tina Shepard, and there was one where one of the first big storyline I did with Ginny was where her and like people that were just watching us on Twitter got really into Ginny trying to help Hunt through a relationship issue he was having.
I was reading some of that.
And
I was disappointed. That was so good. I was disappointed to find out that you were a dude.
That's what I think caused the original.
Good that was.
That's how good that was. Caused Harold, the guy that played the original Paul Holt, to kind of lose his mind because obviously I'm putting my face out there. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a guy, and with this group at least, I predominantly role play the women because that's the characters that are available, and that's what I'm asked to do. And he asked me straight up, he's like, "Are you a guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a guy." And then Paul kind of started going a little bit crazy, and the guy had some real life issues. Let's just say that, and
sure,
things he was doing in real life would end up manifesting with his character.
Right. And
I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but
take us wherever you want to take it, man. But that's you.
Hunt with Mary Loomis from Psycho 2.
Mm-hmm.
As crazy as that sounds, it fucking worked.
Yeah, like he edits it together where he's got Hunt, like it's not just Photoshop. Like he actually it was like a 60-second clip of Hunt and Ginny together at the casino bar from Friday the 13th Part 2. And he sent it to me, and he said, hey, do you care if I post this? It's like, what the fuck did you do? How is this even possible? And it just so happened it worked out where, because John Fury, the guy that played Paul Holt, from behind, he has the similar haircut to Hunter Van Leer. I believe that's the guy that was played Gary.
Yeah.
So he ended it with the picture of Paul and Ginny. It was Paul and Ginny kissing. I believe it was in Ginny's cabin, or it might have been the office. But either way, it ended with that from behind. And after everything he set it up that way with, you thought it was Hunt and not John Fury. And it was just so cool to see all that stuff put together. And like I got to see a couple clips of when he had Dr. Loomis and Tina Shepard together. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And I was so annoyed when that was the thing that really upset me the most when the Friday group died, was because I never got to see that storyline play out.
You remember when he did the Bucky versus Michael Myers Mortal Kombat?
Yo, that was brilliant. That was fucking brilliant.
And he was behind the John Strode $1 Million Man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell
he
you,
did all of those, man.
Twilight Zone is stuck in my head permanently. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, he did all those, man. He's really creative.
Well, he brought West into it that one time, and he sent me the video, and I'm like, dude, what do you use to edit? And we started talking on this for like an hour, and I'm like, well, I'm on PC, so it's different. But he was using a lot of phone apps and stuff, and he's amazing with his work. I love it. It inspires me to do more. Like,
oh, you should have seen our groups when he was talking about, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with Doc, and I want to see if he'll do this thing with Mary. And we're like, finally, because there's people that were in other groups that we wanted to somehow try to get involved with us, and you were right up there at the top of that list. And when he said that, we're like, oh, finally.
That was so much fun for me. That was a big deal for me. I'm like, wow. Okay, so let's make this good, right? You know? I love playing the West character. I really do. That's right up my alley. Like, I've always had an obsession with mad scientists, you know? And that's just how my brain works. I've always wanted... Frankenstein was my first love, like, honestly.
So I've seen like the first 3 minutes of that movie where they like inject
the reagent.
The reagent, and this was, I think it was a chick. She just like blows up, right?
Well, it's like Dr. Gruber. So
like, and he's like, I've created life or something.
Yeah. The idea is he's a medical student, and he was trying to reverse death. And he's somehow stumbled upon how to bring the dead right back to life, but it has to be like a fresh corpse. And he inject it into the spinal fluid, like the bottom of the spine, and it's pretty much he's making zombies, but they're coherent. Some of them, if you get them like fresh enough, like right at the spot, boom, they're more coherent than you think, and it's crazy, like the whole idea. But if you ever have the time, there's an audiobook on YouTube. Check it out, and then watch one of the movies. Like,
I bought the movie. It was like $2.99 on Apple TV one day, and I bought it, but I haven't gotten to it.
Well, if you guys ever want to do a watch along, I'm down. Like,
we love those.
Oh yeah, those are so much fun.
And Reanimator, I know we can get a good group of people in for that. I'll tell you what, if we do that, I'll even dress up like Wes for the show.
You should.
Beautiful.
The costume's right over there. I do special effects stuff all the time.
So what other characters do you cosplay besides West?
Well, I make up my own. I've been messing with like latex and makeup stuff since I was 12, if not younger.
You could definitely pull off like Axl Rose, for sure.
Well, Tommy Jarvis.
Jarvis,
you did, man. Tommy Jarvis?
I would love to. I was actually thinking about doing that. I might have a denim jacket somewhere. I call him the denim cowboy when he comes in the game. First off,
denim Power Ranger,
and then he runs right to the boat and doesn't do a damn thing to help anybody.
Jumps in and takes off.
When I play Tommy, I make sure I find every counselor, and anytime Jason's there, I will just tear him a new one.
Oh, I did a great one it was actually got a clip of that. It was Jake was Jason, and that was when he grabbed you. I ran up and he was just about to kill Mundy, so I shot him with the shotgun. Mundy had a shotgun, so I ran over and picked that up. And then I just waited for Jake to get unstunned. And as soon as he did, I shot him. He's like, how many guns do you have? And he was so annoyed with me.
I'll tell you.
You have to cut together a best of video.
Yeah,
We've had some moments on that.
I'm saving a bunch of stuff to try to like the timestamp so I can get all the videos and clip them together. Cause yeah, we've had some great moments there.
I have 2 years of footage from when I played online, saved on a folder somewhere, and you need to see some of this shit, man.
I think if I
That's back when it was the Wild West, though.
Yeah, it was. We had
You played
Jason
on-
car surfing, man.
yeah, you played on PC too, so you had like the people doing speed hacks. and shit
You remember
like
where
that.
you could kill the counselors could kill counselors? Like
Yep.
it was cut.
Oh yeah,
You think this shit's bad? Kill
Oh, yeah.
FM.
yeah,
Really?
on PC. It was a
Mac,
race with a
you think this
shotgun.
shit's bad? You should have played when counselors could kill counselors.
You
Yeah.
could kill each other off. It was terrible.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
No, it's not. It wasn't awesome.
No.
It ruined the game for a while.
Yeah, like if you're a
It, wa-
good
it,
Jason,
it was so bad that they had to fucking change
yeah,
it.
they took that out.
Holy shit.
But yeah, like if you're a really good, I like to try to go against really, because the reason I play the game, I know Bud hates this, but I play it for the end game chase. I run double sprays, sense evasion, and I play as my main is Tiffany, and I just love it when it's me versus Jason at the end of the match, and I'm just trying to stay alive to run out the clock. That's the whole reason I kept playing that game.
It's fun. Like when you get to
Yeah.
that ending, I'll tell you, I do random, but anytime
Mhm.
LaChapa came up, I would
Ugh.
always play Revenge of the Nerds through my microphone and run around Jason.
We made him play LaChapa for a round.
Oh, that
Oh.
was so bad.
Yeah.
LaChapa's my play style is quiet, and LaChapa's just like he sits there. You can hear him breathing from the other side of the map.
I always used to exclusively play as Adam,
Adam's a good one.
but now I play as
AJ.
AJ. She's good.
AJ's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I
Oh,
switched
yeah,
to her last.
I'm kind of working my way
Thursday.
through it.
I
Yeah, it's
picked
once
up. Oh, go ahead, please.
Monday.
No, I just said me too.
Oh, okay.
That was it. I'm done. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was say like once you can find that character that really fits your play style, that's kind of when you can zero in on how you want to do it. But if you play as a random counselor, that's something I couldn't do. I have my set style, and like when they had me playing as LaChapa, it's just I couldn't do it. Well, I would have survived if I didn't drive the car into that. No, Jason stopped the car that one round, and that's why I died. But
I played recently online, right?
Mhm.
And I found a server that was completely like bunk. There was 4 cars, there was 18 boats. Like
What?
it was nuts. Like, there was
What?
2 Jasons at one point in one of the
Gonna
games.
Step out for
oh
Oh yeah, do your
shit.
thing, brother. Like, and I'm like, holy shit! Like and his server kept popping up, right? But it's like the one Jason was trying to stop the other Jason, and everyone else was like trying to run each other over with cars. And there was 18 counselors in the game at one point.
Good lord,
Fucking mad.
that sounds like
It was fun, but it was nuts.
Mhm.
Because I would die and then I'd automatically respawn as another character.
what the. So that's like, is that like a private server? Or?
Well, that's what happened when they put down all the public
All the-
servers.
Oh, people now they could. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I guess since we're all playing on PS, I mean, I have a 150 character on PC because that's where I played most of the time. I think I do at least. I haven't actually. No, that was my. Oh no, it should save. As I say, that was on my old computer, but that's all saved online. I think.
Oh, Missy's making a comment about the old Friday the 13th game. She's like, I didn't rescue any kids. I just tried to save myself. Don't care about the kids in the cabin.
Oh, those are. I love that. I last night got 3 minutes and 2 seconds on the speed run. I'm getting closer to breaking that 3-minute barrier on that game.
One of these days, I'm gonna catch you live, man. I'm always behind on all that shit. I catch like the after shows.
It's like watching flies fuck.
Oh, yeah, Friday the 13th, Nintendo game, the speed run. You need Mark to spawn in one specific cabin,
Right.
and then you've got basically a 1 in 128 chance of getting the proper setup. And then from there, you still have a chance of Jason appearing at a cabin door, which ends your run. or you have a chance of a knife spawning to the wrong side of the screen. So even once you get it going with that 1 in 128 chance, there's so much randomness involved that can still prevent you from getting a really good time. It's the most maddening reset heavy game I've ever seen in my life.
You're literally C3PO right now.
I love
it. I could talk about speed. I've got the second place time in GI Joe too on Nintendo.
I was catching some of that.
Over here.
I love that game.
Ooh, C3PO and Ralph.
There you go.
Dude, that's a crossover that needs to happen.
C3P Ralph.
I talk to him usually every day, every other day, and DM. I'll tell him that you requested a C3PO crossover. I know Gary does a lot of his photoshops, so
Ralph's
that shouldn't be that
Gary's
difficult.
amazing.
Gary does all of his photoshops.
He does all of it. Like he does. Like the one I've asked him to make one. Like I wanted one of Rachel's head on the girl in Willy Wonka that turns into a blueberry and explodes.
Veruca Salt.
Yeah, I wanted one of
Rachel
that
was Violet. Not
Oh, it was
Veruca
Violet.
Salt, yeah.
Yeah,
Violet, yeah.
Yep.
he photoshopped her head on me. He made them one of my personal favorites. It's from Halloween 3 where it's Chalice and what the hell's her name? Ellie. And he put Hunt and Annie's heads on there because Annie's obsessed with Hunt. And I thought that one was hilarious.
I'm gonna say like I went to school for some of this stuff, like video game design. I went to school for. I've been a chef for like 22 years, but I do the art business on the side. And Gary, I'm saying, is fucking talented. Like that dude has so much skill, and he's creative. I love the passion.
He just does his shit on his phone, I think.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where he learned how to do this because I don't want to say like what he does for a living, but it's
Sure.
not that.
Right.
I'll say it. He's not shy, but he's an
that's true.
electrician. He's Bucky the electrician.
Yeah,
what
he
he
has.
does.
He has said
an
that openly.
electrician.
Yeah, he said his job is basically Bucky. That's right.
That's cool. I never knew. But I'm gonna say, like I said, if it wasn't for him bringing me in that Loomis story, I don't think I'd be here sitting with you guys right now.
Well, I know we were always like, especially when all the shit was going down with like between our group and Morningside. I found myself like more like the people like you and Harley that were trying to build a bridge and not burn everything to the ground. That's what I was looking for. Is I wanted people that were, we don't want to sit there and we don't want to fight. We just want to sit there. Twitter's plenty big enough for multiple horror groups.
Right.
There can be just because I have a character for like, just because I'm Rachel doesn't mean someone else can't be Rachel. There's plenty of room to have multiple Rachels.
And different storylines and
And different people playing different ways. Like we got that going on.
Missy has a good question.
yeah, I saw that too. Good call, bud. Let me get on that. Melissa's asking, at PantsNinja, for those who portray women, do you find random commenters who don't know you react differently when you're in girl mode? Like, do you get more shit or more dick pics in your DMs?
Well, I have gotten my fair share of dick pics. I actually had one guy that made 7 different accounts claiming he was with the FBI, and he would just DM Rachel and say, "Can I have nudes? Where are your nudes?" Or when I stopped following him back so he couldn't DM me, he would reply to posts I'd make and say, "Can I have nudes?" And like for me, as far as like getting in girl mode, I kind of cheat a little bit. I've been married for 10 years. My wife knows I do this. Her name is actually Rachel, which can get a little awkward at times.
Right.
But if I have, like, if there's something, like if I'm saying like, okay, I don't know how a 16-year-old girl would react in certain situations. I mean, I know how like my friends in high school would come to me with things that were like my friends that were girls, or
Right.
like remembering things my sister did, or I have a friend with a 15-year-old daughter now, but there's just some things I just don't know. So like, hey, Rachel, this is the situation. Is this a way you think an actual 16-year-old girl would react, or something she would say? And she'll tell me yes or no. And I bounce a lot of stuff like that off her because I want to make sure that my characters feel authentic. And I think
Right.
that's part of the reason why when they're saying, hey, we want someone to play Rachel, we want someone to play Annie. I think that's kind of one of the reasons I get asked to do something like that. And because I just don't care about playing girls. That was my first role-playing character. I've been playing men and women for 24 years.
You're a woman in a man's body, Joe.
I actually did take one of those gender tests when I was it would have been, and when I was 18, it was like one of those online tests that say, are you a boy or a girl? And the answer it actually gave, I had a bunch of friends around at the time because we were all taking, it's like, we're not entirely sure, but if we had to guess, you're a woman. And all the guys in the room just started laughing hysterically because the internet test said it thought I was a woman. And I was like, oh, this sucks. And then it's like, now who gives a shit?
I had no idea, like I said, for the longest time. Until I watched one of the videos. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Holy shit.
Dude.
All right. Right on. You know?
So,
That is something I pride myself in, is if people don't know that there's actually a guy running that account, I feel like I'm doing at least a good job in that regard.
Oh, yeah. I felt like I was talking to Ginny half the time. If
Yeah.
that makes you feel better.
Totally.
so I'll break some news here. I do Laurie Strode. I started maybe. That's one of the things that we've had trouble with is finding a good Laurie Strode. It's been a real trouble for us.
We only had the one for a while, but that account got completely wiped and they never remade it, and that was a long time ago.
And we had another one, but the chemistry is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
But we for what we're gonna do, we need a Lori. But Lori gets a lot of dick pics.
I believe it.
More, a lot.
Man, I'm glad I don't play a chick.
How
come the guys don't get like fucking chick pics?
Wait, you don't?
And that's
no, I don't.
We would prefer if we could, like, we have a couple of females in Halloween verse.
Sure.
Like Nurse Karen. And we want to get more females in our group. The problem that we have is, as some of the females in the chat know, a lot of pervs out there.
And dick pics.
Well, yeah,
and
we've
get
had
a lot of dick pics. And the thing with some of these characters, like Janet
I send mine out randomly.
or Lori,
Thanks, by the way.
That's one of the things we really want to do is to hand some of these female accounts over to actual females.
Do you think that would help? Like, honestly?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
I really do. But the unfortunate part of that is, the DMs.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of creepers in the DMs, and I really don't.
Dude, I
really feel for a lot of females on Twitter because this is probably what they go through this all day, probably.
And it's not just on Twitter too. It's everywhere they go.
Social media. Public life.
I talked to you guys the other day about the email, the PM I got by some chick. Or no, it wasn't even in PM. It was like right there online.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was some interaction that got questionable.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. I remember that.
I mean, I don't know if it was heading in but I'm not taking those chances. Like when it comes down to getting my account shut down because I did something stupid, I ain't doing it.
Right.
I'm smarter than that.
Missy again. She's like, I like having some men play women. Yeah, we totally see it. It's terrible.
I'd be a sexy woman.
It's terrible that men feel so freely to send their picture of their dicks.
And like that's really gonna work.
That's I don't get it.
I'll say something real quick. Like I haven't played a woman character, but I've been a PantsNinja for a long time. And over social media network, let me tell you the amount of pictures I've received from women. It's gotten
Zero.
No, I mean I'll send you the email later.
Really?
Really, like it's insane. Like, look, I'm not wearing pants. I'm like, Awesome.
What the fuck? So why ain't I getting this shit?
You're not the
You guys
Pants
know where
Ninja.
PMs are, right? They're
I'm cool with like whatever. Like, okay, you're not gonna like offend me, but like, why do people feel the need? Like, that's whatever. Okay, cool. You're naked. Congratulations. Like,
freedom.
you've excelled to a new plane of humanity, guys.
Let's think. We've had people that were even people. They're no longer in our group, but people that were previously in our group that were creeping on
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the things where I mean, it sucks that like if there's a new account that comes in and wants to join us, because we definitely want more people to get involved, because that's something that's changed now that we've got it's a more group thing, and it's not ran by a couple individuals that just wanted it to be basically them.
Right.
And you want more people, but then there's some people out there that are very big issues within the horror community that have been they've been trying to find a way to get involved with our group so they can try to effectively break it up from the inside. So the thing that sucks is when you've got someone that's showing interest in joining, you don't want to push them away, but at the same time you have to really scrutinize everything they're saying. Like, okay, is this person? Is someone coming back? Is this old person?
It's hard to tell.
That was one thing I felt pretty heavy when I got involved in it. Is I always felt like there was another level of eyes above the level I was talking at. So, like when I got involved, I started talking to one person, and then they let me know there was like another tier of people. And then there was another tier of people. And then it was like there was always a higher element, and a hierarchy of who's watching you. And they won't communicate with you. They're just feeling you out, watching what you say, because they don't know who you are. And it's pretty uncomfortable. It was real uncomfortable to get involved in it.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like we had at one point there were like half a dozen Friday the 13th Part 5. You gotta remember this. You were around for this, Mac, when all those Friday 5 accounts started popping up. I watched those new accounts because if they're playing the character well, that's good enough for me to start saying, okay, this is someone. Let's try to see if this is one of the people we don't want, or if this is a new person we can bring in. But then you've got someone that has Joey Burns going to strip clubs and trying to sell his body for a chocolate bar. I'm like, okay, that's not Joey Burns.
Right. It's not, but it's funny.
Yeah. And then you have Rob, one of the people that's again no longer with our group, but Robin Brown from Friday 5, she turns down Jake when he tries to get her to have sex with him. She's at Pinehurst because she has a disorder that causes her to laugh at inappropriate times. But this guy is having Robin say, oh, I'm actually at Pinehurst because I walk around topless. And he's playing Robin as if she's a stripper who's addicted to sitting on Dr. Chalice's face. And like this, you play your character.
Like there's room for some comedic elements, but if you take it too far, like you lose track of who the character really is.
Well, this person was just acting out a fantasy.
That's what I said. Like I think that was a way of this person trying to relive their high school days where they didn't have success with women, trying to make themselves successful with women.
That's a good question though. Like, do you find a lot of that out there? You guys have been in this for a minute. I'm sure you find tons of people just instead of playing the characters, like acting out fantasies, making up whatever.
Well, I don't think you're gonna find that with Halloween verse now.
Right.
But there are people that have actually tried to get involved with us, or we'd be going along with them for a little bit, feeling them out, and then there was like a Reggie the Reckless, a 10 or 11-year-old from Friday 5 who was trying to go to Haddonfield to have sex with Rachel.
I caught some of that.
First of all, Reggie is like 4th or 5th grade. He can't even drive a car. And when this guy was asked about that privately, he said, well, I saw Dr. Chalice doing this. I thought that's what your group was about. And it's like, no, that's just one person in this group that happens to have 25 different accounts. But the rest of us, we love these movies. We just want to play these characters. We want to try to tell a compelling story, let people interact with their favorite characters and hopefully make their day.
Right.
I mean, God, the first time Chris Higgins responded to me, I felt like I was talking to, so I had said something to Chris Higgins before I joined the group, just because, again, favorite Final Girl. And when that account responded to me, I'm pretty sure I know who that is now, but I'm not going to say anything about that. But when they responded to me in character,
I know who it is.
I'll have to hit you up privately because I'm pretty sure I do too. But when they responded to me in character, I actually went and I showed my phone to Rachel. I'm like, oh my God, the person running Chris Higgins' account responded to me. She's like, why are you showing me this? You know, I couldn't care less about your horror movies.
That's funny though.
But I mean, that's what I'd like to hope that at some point I have made someone feel the same way I did when Chris Higgins responded to me.
Yeah.
You've done that for me. I can tell you that is Jenny.
Oh, excellent.
And I've had some good times with you guys, and I didn't even know it was you guys until later. Like,
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing about it. Like, I've got history with a lot of these guys that predated when I actually knew it was them.
I'll tell you something else that got me. I just left Morningside, and me and Harley were doing our stuff, and I wrote a story, and whoever was playing Brody started responding to me a lot. From Amity.
I don't know who plays Brody.
I saw.
I have a suspicion. Yeah.
I
don't know. There's a couple of Brodies, but real Chief Brody to me is the Brody.
I have to double check. It's been a while, but they started like throwing in on some story stuff we were doing randomly. Here, I got this from this shed down and blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh wow, that was like a big deal. And then you guys messing with me, I was like, that's a big deal. Like it was just cool to see the communities uniting a little more after all that shit went down, you know?
Yeah. Well, we have to weed out the shit,
right?
Find the real people. Yeah.
And I'm the ones that are there for the horror and for the making those relationships, and there to have fun, not there to see what it was like if a character from Friday the 13th is nailing a character from Halloween.
And everybody forgets about Jeffrey Combs.
That's what it was. You had Dan Chalice crossing over to Friday the 13th.
Right.
Like it was just a clusterfuck.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure Monday gives some pretty quality tale.
I can tell by that hairstyle.
Crossovers can
that sweater.
Crossovers can work. I'll give the example of Hunt with Mary Loomis from Psycho 2. Mm-hmm. It can work if it's just done right.
Yeah, that's the key.
Like if you're just having like fucking Deckard from Resurrection crossover to who was he trying to fuck, Joe?
He was sending all of his characters at Ginny for a while, and he realized that I still don't think to this day he knows that I'm also Rachel, but he had Deborah Strode trying to convince Rachel to break up with Brady so she would go out with Deckard. He played both of those accounts. He was using he was also Janet Marshall at one point. He had Janet trying to give Rachel a relationship advice, saying, hey, you need to break up with this Brady guy and you should try giving that Deckard kid a chance. And it's like, well, I mean, to me, I take my characters a lot more seriously than I probably should. I am not going to have them get into a relationship with another character unless I feel that it is good for that. It's a good fit. There has to be some kind of chemistry there. And I want it to feel real. Like with the thing with Ginny and Hunt, that was never the plan. It just started with her helping him through his breakup with Janet. And then people that were watching started saying, well, are they dating? And apparently like the guy that used to run the Loomis account had thought they were already together. And one day Gary just DM'd me. He's like, hey, everyone seems to think they're together. Is this something you'd be interested in pursuing as a storyline? And to me, it was like getting called up to the big leagues when like Meeker or Hunt, or at that point Brackett says, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, you get involved. And I had a lot of fun with that.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Mr. Goatman has blessed our chat. Anytime
Yay.
Goatman shows up, it's a beautiful stream.
And Missy is right. The Psycho franchise is thumbs up.
Oh, Psycho 2 was
Psycho 2, I love it.
When Gary was doing that storyline, and he kept saying, he kept asking me to try to figure out who the killer was.
I love the end of Psycho 2.
Usually, I mean,
it was good.
Brains that old lady with a fucking spade shovel. I love it.
I watched almost every episode of Murder, She Wrote, so I'm usually pretty good at picking out the killer, but I had no fucking clue what was going on in Psycho 2. That's just how well that was done.
But have you seen Columbo? That's the important question.
I have seen a couple episodes of Columbo, but not to the level of Murder, She Wrote.
I can respect that.
Have you ever seen Simon and Simon?
Ooh.
No, I have not.
God, Joe, you're just like 4 years too late.
I'm telling you.
I'm 38.
4 years too late.
I'm not too far from you, buddy. I'll just say that. Nobody needs to know. I'm 24. Really? Apparently, like, people think I'm in my 20s. Like, you guys are idiots.
What are you, 44?
I'm like 75.
I turned 45 like 5 days ago.
I just hit 39 in July.
Nice.
And I don't ever admit my age or real life details too far on here. So you're welcome, guys. There's a little detail about me. And there is... go ahead.
I was going to say, just scrub that out of the
I don't
post after that.
Whatever.
Only the people that are live get to know that tidbit.
That's fine. I'm going to do highlight reels at some point. Whenever I have time, like, I have so much stuff to download and edit, and I want to do a highlight clip of all this stuff. And this has been fun for me so far. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody hanging out in chat again. Thank you guys for bearing with us tonight. It's been an up and down with the viewership, but it's usually how it goes. People pop in and out.
Yeah. You have your diehards, and then
my
birthday's August 23rd. Yeah.
Oh.
Me and Missy have the same birthday.
Well, happy birthday to both you. Well, yeah, I said happy birthday to Bud already. Well, happy birthday, Missy.
But we're Virgos. It depends. Like me and Missy we're Virgos on some horoscopes, but on others we're Leos. We're like on the cusp.
Yeah, 23rd kind of falls in a weird point for a lot of those, doesn't it?
Well, what time we got here? You guys good for another 10 or 15?
Yeah, I can do another 10 or 15.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm good.
Cool. I'm thinking about shutting it down soon, but...
I'm probably not going anywhere for a while because I probably have COVID. My wife has COVID, so I probably have it too.
I'll tell you this, I just checked my schedule. I might be doing some random live pop-ups this week. And they're usually just bullshit sessions about anything that pops up.
Yeah.
I'll hit you guys up if something goes on.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever, I could talk about, I know like we didn't always, there's no, like you said, it's not like a set structure, but I mean, I could talk about role-playing stuff. Like there's so much shit that I'm not the person to tell it, like Bud, Gary, and Travis.
No.
You don't want to talk about it, or you don't think you?
No, I mean, I'm not an expert on Halloween.
Well, I'm talking about like the stuff that like with the Halloween verse, because there's so much that happened with this group before you guys were almost 2 years strong before I even found out that.
No, we were not 2 years strong. We were 2 years fractured.
Oh, well, I mean, there you go. Well,
we didn't become strong until probably last Halloween.
And I want to say the fair thing was fun. I'm glad.
I loved that.
Well, what really drew me in was me and Harley were talking about that too. Like in all our little group, we were the Strange Brew Crew after Morningside and Losers Club, whatever you want to call it. But we were happy to get involved even a little bit because that was like so much fun, the whole thing. And whoever was playing Gina,
that's Hunt.
I was gonna say I don't know for sure, but
Gina Lemke was a good one, man. That's another example of a crossover
that
It
fits.
works.
Totally.
And,
And the traveling fair is
What's the
perfect.
Gypsy chick.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
From Thinner, right? It's
Thinner.
from
Yep.
Thinner.
Yep.
Yeah.
there has been it has been briefly mentioned the floated the possibility of bringing that back.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
hopefully
Gina Lemke will be back.
I hope
Guaranteed.
so.
that character is, I mean, I've never seen Thinner, but I feel like I have, just based on how well he seems to play that character.
Well, West
Carrie
was supposed to bring
Weir.
back her mom, I thought.
Mhm.
I would love to get West involved in something. I haven't done anything in so long.
Well, if you have any ideas, definitely let us know.
Oh, I'm an idea
Yeah, if
factory. dude.
anybody has ideas,
Yeah.
like if anybody wants to play a character in the Halloween verse, whatever, reach out.
Yeah, like
'cause
there's
there's a ton that could be handed over in a second.
yeah, and there's some like the Dana Carvey character you were talking about earlier. There's a
Mhm.
lot that's open, and
Like
there's
Buster Rhymes, there's so many that aren't
like,
even. Yeah.
there's some characters that people like. I know I've grown very attached to Rachel, and people seem to appreciate what I do with Annie, so I don't know if I could get rid of either of those two, but pretty much any other character I have is for Halloween.
I'm attached to Bud. I have Lori and I have Janet, and those are available.
My God, who else
I'll
do I
keep
have
that
for
in mind.
Halloween?
Take
have-
my trammer.
You Trammer. I have
Take my
let's see.
trauma.
Take
have-
my trauma.
It's not a trauma.
Let's see. Deputy Wallace, Nurse Jill, Lindsay, not Deputy Wallace, Deputy Ramsey.
Yeah, I would say Nurse Jill's probably available too.
Yeah, Nurse Jill,
Yeah.
Lindsay. I'm not attached to any of those. Those were just
Like
people
that,
we
the,
needed
the,
that had
the
to have a
Halloween,
body.
the Halloween 2 hospital, we had to snatch those because they were run by someone who just used it for
Yeah.
sexual purposes.
They were.
Right.
They had taken over.
So we had to get those back, and we want those to go to the right people.
Mhm. Yeah, it was unfortunate too, because like we had a lot of really cool stuff going on, but unless it involved one of the like
Erotica,
characters,
if you
sex.
do it,
Carrie,
Buster,
take it.
do it,
Yes,
do it.
But no 4-page stories, Carrie. I'm just saying.
Just do that character is what it is, and it could be done right, and it could be great.
And I'll tell you, the legacy tales, like you guys were talking about, the in-depth stories, like there's different levels of this RP community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of an apples and oranges thing. That's why it's so beautiful. Like what they're doing is, it's novel writing. It's like really descriptive, really detailed, amazing stuff, and then we just kind of were in character.
Right.
I actually did that with Lynn Peterson. I tried to make him human, bring some humanity to him. But like he's torn between being this evil villain, but then he has those little unknown love child, Cat Peterson. That's one of the things I did with Lynn, and I just love bringing depth to the characters.
I think that helps too. Like, and that's the whole thing I was doing with West, was I was continuing his story from like the books. I took the books and then I took the movies, put them together, and like, let's continue this. Let's see what happens. You know. But I find it so hard to write full novel type stories on Twitter.
It's difficult,
But you've got
especially
the
when you're
character
working.
limit.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to do it.
There is.
There is.
That's kind of why we started the Halloween verse Twitter page, because it kind of aggregates everything into one place.
And that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I think more groups. I feel like more groups should do that personally.
It's a thing I tried to do with Amity. Was with Amity. Do you guys remember Amity 9 News?
I do, kind of, yes.
That's kind of what I used that for. Was kind of aggregate.
Are you the Amity reporter?
No, I'm not the. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Real Chief Brody is. Those are actual. Like, I think they're
people
separate. Yeah, I think they're separate, and they're really good what they do.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out too. Underworld's Finest was trying to do some stuff too, and I appreciate like Chucky and them guys, but they're more like I don't see them writing stories so much as just interactions, and that's cool.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this. Twitter's such a big place, and if there's a specific type of role playing you want to do, you're going to have a place for it. It's just a matter of finding the group that fits what you're looking to do or what your skill set is.
Right. I'll tell you, I never considered the West Profile a role play account, more so a story writing thing. Because I'm retweeting other horror stuff. I'm talking to the people, but I like my little good morning messages, and people like seem to dig that kind of stuff, like they're talking to the doc, and I'm like, that's cool. Have fun with it.
Well, and it's always a positive message too. There's so much shit in the world right now. We're just if someone like wakes up, they open up Twitter, they see something that's actually that'll hopefully set their day up to be good and not just start their day off right where they're stepping in a big pile of dog shit right away.
Right. I think it helps. And I try to take it's funny because I'm trying to play with like West doing stuff, okay, like his ideas and theories, and turning into a positive message, which I think's hilarious to me. But you got to have some fun with it, right?
Yeah. If you're not having fun, then that comes through in what you're posting.
Yeah, no doubt. Chat, any last minute questions? Pop them in now. I'm calling it in a few minutes.
I'm totally wasted. You can't tell, but I'm so fucking drunk right now.
I got my water here.
I'm doing okay. I had half a bottle of plum wine. I'm fine, but I'm like 6'4" and like 230. I'm good.
You are? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm a giant.
I'm like 5'8", 165. So
I'm 6'0", 170.
Total lightweight.
6 foot, 175 pounds, shockingly average.
You know,
how many packs of cigarettes do you smoke a day?
Me?
Just under one.
I'm terrible.
I've never smoked in my life.
Same here.
Except for weed. But...
3 sips of alcohol.
Me neither.
It's like mine.
I work in a kitchen. It comes with the territory.
Are you're a cook?
I'm a chef for 20 some years.
I do notice when I watch like shows like Hell's Kitchen, almost everybody on that show is a smoker.
Oh, dude, it's so
because
stressful.
Like it's that must be that nerve wracking.
I've been doing this since I was like 18. Was my first like management position in a kitchen. I've run 3 different kitchens. I was a bouncer. I was a bartender for a minute, wait staff. My current job, I've talked about this a little bit. I work for a college for the past 17 years. I run their food truck plus work in the dining hall. And it is a tough gig, especially we're shorthanded now. My hours are shit, and I'm getting older.
What is your specialty cuisine? What do you do?
You know,
you just do like sub sandwiches, or do you do like beef? Do you do like beef Wellington? Like,
I do everything from just sloppy joes to, put your pinkies up.
Comfort food.
I do everything, man. Like, honestly, I can. My favorite's like Asian cuisine and Mediterranean style stuff. I've recently been trying to become more vegetarian for health benefits.
Fuck that. Just eat the meat.
I'm telling you, dude.
If you just eat the meat, that's healthy.
I get it. Like, I've been doing that a long time, but I've also I feel better. Like, I'm starting to feel better. I'm getting. I don't know. There's something to it, and I'm cool with animals. Animals are awesome,
My wife does paleo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And no, it's not paleo. What the fuck is it?
Paleo's one, yeah.
So she like going back in time for her food.
It might not be paleo.
Paleo's like. Let me think a minute. Jeez.
Like you don't eat grains.
No grains. Yeah. There's a whole high protein thing with that.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
How can you not eat grain?
I don't know.
It's possible.
I feel celiac or something like that.
There's
gluten. No, that's gluten.
Gluten celiac, yeah.
That's basically what it is. You don't eat gluten.
Yeah, and it's like the Atkins thing almost.
But she says since she did that, she feels so much better. But she eats the shit out of meat.
I'm telling you something though, coming from my position in my life, like food wise, like there's so much additives to so much stuff. GMOs are terrible.
It has to be tough.
It is.
Yeah, that's basically what her diet is to cut out the GMOs, and Like she puts like whole chickens in the crock pot and drinks the broth.
Might as well
That's what
just
she
buy
does.
some stock, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Be
no,
cheaper.
she fucking does the whole chicken in the crock pot, drinks the broth, and then eats the chicken.
There you go.
So there you go.
Pass.
If it works.
It's fucking weird.
it's different, is what you should say.
And
That's the piece.
in our refrigerator, there are jars and jars of chicken broth and God knows what else.
I used to.
She's
I
gonna be
make my
standing right
stock.
behind you, looking pissed soon.
holding
Wow.
a jar of broth, like.
Right.
One's gonna turn around and get a jar thrown in his face.
Speaking of funny things, I just recently bought the Necronominom, which is a cookbook based on H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh,
Mhm.
whoa.
Hold on, I'll grab it real quick. Let me get up.
Do you guys like the Lovecraft Country show on
I'm
HBO?
not
seen it.
familiar with it.
Haven't
Dude.
seen it. I'm not real big
Yes.
on horror series.
But
So-
every recipe is like, it's hard to see, but like.
Well, I know Joe's favorite is Pretty Little Liars. So
Yeah, that show does named one of my daughters after an actress on that show.
oh man, I had shoulder surgery in like 2011, and I binge watched like the first 3 seasons of that.
Actually, my
Very
youngest was
cool.
Because
born
I
on
was
the day
stuck at
that show
home.
ended.
Like it was pretty strong, and then it just fell off a cliff.
Well, their problem is they had their one thing that drove the whole series, and
Yeah.
they couldn't stretch that one question out for 7 years.
Like you couldn't keep it straight. Like
Mhm.
people would switch. Like they'd be evil one season, and then oh, we're all friends the next.
So it's
Well.
like a fucking Marvel.
That's
comic.
it. Definitely.
Yeah, it was Marvel, but like
High school
yeah,
Marvel.
with hot teens. Yeah.
Pass.
Well, I guess on that note, it's 12:12 a.m. here.
Three Little Liars has killed the stream.
Well, I was looking at the time more than anything, but I was gonna say let's shoot over to Bud. You got any shout outs you want to do, brother?
I want to shout out Jake Blaster Productions, our good friend. He streams our Road to Kills watch parties. I think we have, I think September, like on the second Wednesday or third Wednesday in September, we're doing Rob Zombie. I don't know the exact date. And I want to shout out Nick Push, a good friend of ours. You can follow him on YouTube.
That's
And-
Pusch, right?
Pusch. Great guy.
Excellent.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Yeah.
All right. Let's shoot over to Mac real quick. Let's get your shout outs, brother.
I want to shout out Jack Russell, badass motherfucker out there, and Cobra Commander. Those guys.
Oh, that's
don't
who Cobra
get
is?
I thought
Yeah.
that was the lead. I thought that was the lead singer of Great White.
I thought that was a breed of
Man.
dog.
Is he the great? Yeah, both. Oh,
Who's
never
Jack
mind.
Russell?
Yeah,
It's Gray White.
yeah, that's the lead singer of Great White.
Is it? I don't know. Hey, 80s hair bands.
Oh my
Oh.
God, man!
They were horrible. Why
You
would
don't
I-
know fucking Conway Twitty. You don't know hair metal. What the fuck?
You know what I do know? You know what I do
No
know?
one. No wonder. No wonder
Journey.
you're not a radio guy. No wonder.
You know
You
what?
guys are awesome.
I'll fucking beat
Steve
I'll beat
Perry.
this shit, bud.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Don't ever listen. Rule 1 of the dojo: never be sorry.
That's right. I'm not sorry.
There you go.
And I want to shout out Bud, who does the greatest Joe Pesci impression you ever fucking heard.
Yes, do it. Just once.
No, I do one line good.
Do it,
I
you
don't do
fuck.
the rest. You dumb motherfucker, you! And it's not even that good.
Bravo.
When you and Jake get going back and forth on that, though,
yeah.
I mean,
It's
you will
getting-
hear
it-
you
it's
hear
getting
those
old.
lines all the time.
Well, and let's shoot Joe. Any shout outs, brother? You should shout out your Twitch, I think.
Oh, yeah, I guess my Twitch is 0 the 14th. We play Friday the 13th every Tuesday and Thursday. And on other nights, I'll randomly do old Nintendo speedruns. Mainly just Friday the 13th and GI Joe at this point. Apologies to Cobra Commander. I did kill you in 20 minutes and 26 seconds last week.
It's amazing you're married. It's totally amazing.
It is amazing I'm married.
I think it's beautiful, personally.
I mean, yeah, it's 10 years, and I have friends that their wives like won't let them do things they like to do before they got married, and
That's important.
Mine's like, yeah, you want to go do your Twitter stuff? I mean, granted, I did sell a lot of my old games. I got like $2,300 for them, and I bought a lot of stuff for streaming, and like I'm getting my top loading Nintendo RGB modded, and all she asked for is any leftover money so she can get a dog next year.
Aw.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Right now it's a Shih Tzu, but it has changed about 9 times in the last 2 months.
I have 2 Shih Tzus, and they both eat shit. So don't get one.
Anything else you want to shout out, Joe?
No, just thanks for having us on. This was a lot of fun.
Anytime. I'm definitely honored.
I'm happy to meet a lot of your faithful chats. I've seen these people on Twitter, and please hit me up.
Yeah.
We could all be good friends.
Well, that's the idea of these shows lately, is I'm trying to unite everybody, not just in the RP community, the horror community in general. We've had Stabby Time, Scrapper, Kill FM, obviously, Garbage Pail Queen. We had Har Queen on. We've had Death Curse Pod on. Tomorrow, actually, let me give this shout out. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Purgatory entering the dojo. Podcaster. Yeah, she's a podcaster. She does horror stuff, and she's training to be a wrestler. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. I love wrestling.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a good egg. This is going to be her first time here, just like I've just popped 3 cherries tonight. Shout out to Meeker for being here. I'm good at that. And I'm definitely shout out to the chat, all the Legacy Tale guys in there who your promo should be in my little rotation, same as the Halloween verse. Shout out to Halloween verse, obviously. And I'm glad we could do this. I'm hoping we can do more of these, have more people on, you know. And like I said, you guys are always welcome. So I'll cut to the outro here in a sec. If you guys want to hang out a minute, we can talk off air for a sec. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Support all these people. I have some Twitter ats in the comments for Kill FM and Halloween verse, and we can get you caught up on everything else then. But happy, I guess it's still Saturday for some people. Happy Saturday.
It's Saturday here in Texas.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shit, I'm hitting Sunday territory. I'm already on my next day's show. Jeez.
Uh-oh.
It's all good. But thank you guys for coming in once again. Thank you, chat. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And keep in mind, everyone, still booking for September. So hit me up if you got people you think we should have on. There's a few in mind, but we'll get on that later. And say good night, everyone. Have a great one.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. I have a full sleeve. Didn't see it.